Full disclosure. I'm so tired. Full disclosure, chat. I am so... Oh, what the hell? I am so unbelievably tired. But hey, figured I'd come on for like 2-3 hours maybe. We can get some debate. But I am motherfucking exhausted. What's up? Dude, I can go to bed till like 3:30, damn near 4 o'clock. But what's up? Hey. You said you wanted a nap, and I didn't give myself one. That's on me. That's my fault. Should've, could've, would've. I didn't take a nap. I wanted to, but I didn't. So I am very tired. We're gonna try to work our way through here and keep it going. You went to bed when I was on my way to work? Yeah, I was awake. What was I doing?
You are connected as the host. Welcome, host. You are now in the host room and can manage your callers from the call-in studio web interface.
Yeah. I was up watching a Defunct Land video all night. I think Defunct Land in his most recent video has the funniest joke I have ever heard. Like, I cackled. I was laughing so hard. Yeah, the problem is I have to stream because after my move, I'm now flat broke and I don't get paid again for another 10 days. Because that's what happens when you only get paid like a few times. Hey Javon, thanks for the stream helping me chug along in rehab after cardiac surgery. Oh my gosh, well I hope you're okay. Cardiac, what? Did I say cardiatric? What the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck is cardiatric, Javon? What the fuck is your problem, man? Anyway, if you guys want to support the stream and support my sanity, Cash App and Venmo are there on the screen. If you want to support me slowly going insane. Oh, topics on the board. No good reason to be MAGA, no good reason to be anti-abortion, no good reason to be Christian, no good reason to believe in Christianity, trans men and women are men and women, 219-327-8005. Yeah, I'm just losing it, dude. And you know what's got me even more angry? Not angry. I want to play Dispatch, but I have to play it on stream. So I'm like, this is what sucks when I choose a game for stream that I like so much that I want to keep playing it off stream. But I'm like, I can't. I started Dispatch with you guys, so I have to play it with you guys. But I'm just like, I want to play it again. So anyway, let's debate. If you want to support but you can't use Cash App or Venmo, I do have a PayPal as well. That's on my Twitch though. If you go to my Twitch, you'll see my donate button. Or you can do a super chat. You been lost it, brother. No, unfortunately I haven't. They had to cut a chunk of my heart septum out because it was too thick. They unthickened me. Jesus. Well, I'm glad you're chilling. Glad you're doing okay. There's way too much dialogue in Pokemon ZA. The story in Pokemon ZA is absolute garbage. I hated it. I skipped it. I don't even, if you asked me to tell you what happened in that game, I could not. I didn't read a single piece of dialogue. I skipped it all. I'm like, just let me catch Pokemon. Heart Too Thick sounds like a Drake song. Yeah. Heart Too Thick. Wait, let's find a Drake Drizzy type beat. Wait. Wait. Said heart too thick. Been let down one too many times. I love light-skinned women. Sorry, I don't know why that makes me laugh so much, dude. Someone write lyrics to Heart Too Thick by Drake. Please. God's plan. Oh, shit. That's so funny. Drizzy Draco. Never too young. Yeah, I've watched Superstore. Not only do I know who Garrett is in Superstore, that actor follows me on Instagram. I don't remember his name, which makes me feel like an asshole because I've liked him in way more than just Superstore. But yeah, he follows me on Instagram. Pretty cool. Can I have AI be my ghostwriter? Wait, okay, hold on. I know we don't like ChatGPT, but wait. Write lyrics to a song that sounds like a Drake song called Heart Too Thick. Wait, it kind of ate with this, not gonna lie. Wait, it kind of ate with this. Hold on, wait, what the fuck? Like, it low-key kind of ate. Hold up. Wait. Wait a fucking second, dude. Hold the fucking phone, bro. Wait. Why did it kind of eat with this? Okay, hold on. I like how it did an intro. It did intro lyrics. Wait, hold on. Because it low-key kind of ate with this shit. Wait. It said midnight on a dash. City looking glitchy. Bro, it said talk to God in the mirror when it getting risky. Oh my God, bro. I'm trying to see how the beat goes and see. This is the funniest shit I've ever seen in my life. Wait, why does this kind of eat? Hold on, what the fuck? Whoa, I'm like saying it in my head to try to get a flow and I'm like, hold the fucking phone. Wait, this shit kind of ate. That actually worries me a little bit. Wait, I'm actually kind of worried. That this kind of eats. Wait. Wait, okay, hold on. I'm about to spit this AI Drake. We just kind of hit. Hold on, I gotta try to get the flow right on the beginning. But this is so fucking funny. Is this how Drake writes a song? Is this how Drake writes a song? Does Drake use AI? What? I know I keep stopping, but it's because every time I do this in my head, I'm like, holy shit, why is this? Wait, where's Yemye? Yemye, go to Discord real quick. All I want to do before we do this, I want you to read these lyrics and tell me if this ain't low key, kind of flossy. All I want you to do is read these lyrics and tell me if these low key don't kind of ate. Hold on. Because what the fuck? I need Yemye to confirm with me whether this eats before we keep going with this. This is just mind blowing to me right now. This is blowing my mind. This is blowing my fucking mind. Is that this? Do Taylor Swift next? We let AI write the most banger Taylor Swift song in existence. Okay, hold on. Let's see. Let's. Yo, this she kind of bangs. What the fuck? I'm trying to figure out how I should do the first. They wrote the first lyric is kind of fucky. So I'm trying to figure out how it's go. Wait, I'm figuring this out. This is hold on. Why does this hit? Okay, I can't do this. This is so stupid. Yemye agrees. Why is it low-key good? This is so stupid. This is so stupid, bro. This is the dumbest shit. Listen to this, you guys. Hold on, listen to this shit. Listen to what AI wrote. This is Drake. This is Drake. This is proof that Drake songs just sound like AI now. That's what I proved. He said midnight on a dash. I can't get through with a straight face. Midnight on the Dash is such a Drake ad-lib. Bro, Midnight on the Dash is so Drake coded. He said, talk to God in the mirror when it getting risky. I can't do it with a straight face, guys. I can't do it with a straight face. Holy shit. No, it's true. I wonder whose lyrics it stole this from. Loki, whose lyrics did it steal this from? Shut your dumb ass the fuck up, libtard. Wow, you are the fucking pinnacle of manliness. God damn. When you came out the womb, your mom must have looked real disappointed. God damn. God damn. I bet she wished she let your dad come on her back. God damn. Would have been much more fucking fruitful. God damn. Cannot believe you were such a waste of sperm. God damn. Better use in the fucking sock. God damn. Don't try me. We can't hear the lyrics because there are no lyrics, you guys. There's no. The only lyrics are what it wrote. But you're right. No AI slop. Let's stop the AI slop. God damn. Okay. The music I was playing wasn't AI, by the way, just so everybody's aware. The music that I was playing was not AI. That was just some random beat off YouTube. If you ever want to find, you got to type in blank type beat. That's how rappers do it, dog. SoundCloud rappers, they be typing in like Gucci Mane type beat. Think we've got Goofy Javon today. Yeah, that's what happens when I'm fucking low on sleep. Goddamn. Javon sampling the devil's lettuce. Fun fact, I can't get high off of marijuana. Goddamn. Hey, Javon, hope you're having a good day. I'm definitely having a day. Goddamn. Last name ever. First name greatest. Like a sprained ankle, boy, ain't nothing to play with. Started off local. But thanks to all my haters, whatever it is that gets you high in marijuana, THC, whatever the thing is, it does not affect me. Believe me, I have tried. I have taken full edibles to the face. Multiple. Felt nothing. What was that? Wasn't that an American Dad bit? The Gucci Mane bit? Yeah, because Haley's making like a diss track to Gucci Mane, and Klaus is like, Gucci Mane, you have to hear this. Started off local, but thanks to all my haters, I've smoked it, I've inhaled it, I've done everything. It doesn't work. Doesn't work, guys. Sorry. I cannot get high. I've tried. Oh, Lord, we got a call. Okay. Coming up to the stream now is Ruby. Now, Ruby thinks that trans men and women should be defined as trans men and women and that it hurts and there are negative repercussions to society by claiming that they're normal men and women. Let's see how Ruby defends that. Ruby, if you can hear me, please provide me your age and pronouns.
So my name is Ruby. I'm 19 and my pronouns are he, him.
Okay. Now, Ruby, what negatives to society happen when we label trans men and women as women and men?
Okay, so I rather start with my first point on how trans men and women should be considered in their own category for two reasons. Is simply the fact that trans men and women usually, from my understanding, refer to themselves as trans men and women. The average trans person that I encounter refers to themselves as trans. That's how they say, hey, I'm trans.
Quick question, Ruby. Is the word trans a noun or an adjective?
It could be both. I consider it as a noun.
When placed in front of the word woman. Wait, I'm not asking what you consider it. When placed in front of the word woman, is it a noun or an adjective?
Adjective.
Yeah. So when someone says I'm a trans woman, they are using a describing word to describe the type of women they are. So they would still be a woman.
Okay.
Do you think when just real last thing? Do you think when black women refer to themselves as black women, they're saying that they're different from all other women, or are they just describing the type of women that they are?
Okay. They would be describing the type of women that they are. Makes
Yeah.
sense. Okay. But okay. So that makes sense. That makes sense. Though, which is there a reason why you don't use the Oxford Dictionary's definition of a man and a woman? Because the
A reason
Oxford
why I don't use
Dictionary,
Oxford Dictionary, because dictionaries are descriptive, not prescriptive. So if I find a definition for a word that I think better fits, I'm going to use that. I'm not really worried about what the dictionary tells us.
okay, but then how do you define any word if you don't use, if you can, how do you define any word?
Dictionaries are descriptive, not prescriptive. The dictionary doesn't tell us how words are supposed to be defined. It just tells us how words tend to colloquially be defined at any given point in history. That's why if you look at dictionaries from the past, they define words slightly differently, or they have words that aren't even in there that are in there now. Just view the dictionary as a snapshot.
Okay, that works. So now on the negative repercussions on society. So I don't know if this has been officially implemented yet, but it's been at least considered that Uber drivers now have to determine their gender because women have women only desire women only drivers, right? How can you determine if somebody is trans enough to make that woman feel safe and isn't using the trans name to simply, for example, get more lifts?
To using the trans name to get more lifts, like to get more people
Okay,
to drive their Uber. Is that what you're saying?
for example, since if
Do
the
we have,
Uber
hold on
man
just really quickly,
identifies,
Ruby, just really quickly. Do we have any evidence of anybody doing this?
no, though,
So then why would I
no,
be
but
worried? So then hold on, but then why would I punish trans people for a fictional thing that hasn't happened?
why is considering them a separate category a punishment?
Because it would be you telling them that they're not the gender that they say they are.
Okay, so there's often things as preventative rules that can be made just to prevent a certain outcome. Um, for example, even let's say hypothetically, no one has ever murdered anybody. Putting in a rule for murder is still a valid reason to put in something. Any
If I
rule that
lived in a,
can
if I
be
lived, yeah, but if I lived in a society that never had a murder before, we probably wouldn't have rules about murder because it's just a concept that's foreign to us. It's not something we would have thought about.
agreed, but do you think it would be a good idea to put a rule against murder in a society?
We wouldn't know to. I think it's a good idea because it happens. Because murder happens, we should have a rule against murder. If it was a
Okay, so
society where murder never happened and has never happened, they wouldn't even think to have a rule about it because to them it's a foreign alien concept.
okay, so until
Should
a
we, let me ask you a
person,
question. Let me ask you a question. Should we have a
Mhm.
rule about flying into an airplane, like flying into an airplane's engine? Like, should I have a rule that I can't jump up in the air and fly into the engine of an airplane?
personally, I think it's common sense and therefore shouldn't. Though I do see that if it is, there's no reason to not have that rule in place.
Yeah, for me,
It's
it
genuinely
just like if we're gonna say like, hey, there are some cisgender men who are gonna break this rule. Well, then punish those people. Don't punish the trans people
hmm
because there are cisgender men that are gonna break the rule.
hmm
What's to stop? What's
Okay,
to stop a man from What's to stop a man from just like making up an identity and lying that they're women to begin with? Nothing. So like
then
implementing a rule that separates trans people does nothing to help prevent cis men violence. It just further separates trans people.
okay, then my second question is, how do you,
Uh
to
huh.
what extent can you consider somebody trans? How do you
What do you
determine if
mean?
somebody is trans or not?
They would tell you.
Okay, therefore, a man can still, so therefore, it is still possible for a 100% man who has not done any surgery or has not anything, that simply believes themselves to be a.
Why would they need? Why would they need to go through surgery? Trans women don't need to go through surgery to
No,
be trans.
no, I know they don't need to, but it's simply the fact that if a woman's fear for the Uber is simply that it is a man and therefore can harm them, since either whatever reason they could have either bad feelings with men or just aggression and or a enhanced physicality that could cause them harm. Even though somebody considers them trans, that harm and that fear is still there.
Do we have as some sort of statistical significant evidence that trans women en masse are harming cis women?
No. To be fair,
Okay.
I don't think we've even tried to even determine that statistic.
We do, and you know who
Since
actually faces? Do you know who actually faces the most risk of harm? It's trans women. Do trans women are 8 times as likely to experience gender-based violence over cis women? So, like, they're the ones who we should actually be keeping safe, and we should be keeping them safe from cisgender men who are the ones tending to cause violence against trans people. Trans women aren't harming cisgender women in a way that would require us to regulate society around it.
Okay. And so you believe that since putting them in a category that is just men and women will diminish that violence?
Will it diminish the violence? Allowing them into spaces away from cisgender men will diminish the violence a little bit. But no, what will diminish the violence against trans people is educating society on being tolerant around trans people.
Okay. Okay. So you believe that trans men and women should be treated the exact same way as men and women in all accounts?
Well, they are men and women, so yes, I believe all men and women should be treated the same. Do I think that there's some things that would be afforded to cisgender women, like separate? Yes, that's just because they're cisgender women. Just like there's some things I'd probably afford to transgender women separate. Just like there are things I'd afford to white women and black women separate, right? Like that's just the nature of there being different types of women. But because they're all women, on a woman basis, they would all get treated the same. But there might be differences in the way we treat them on another identifier level. It's like intersectionality. So like, I might, for instance, black women, we know have a harder time in the workforce. So I might give them like a few more opportunities to get hired than like a white woman. That doesn't mean that I'm treating them differently on the basis of their womanhood. I'm treating them differently on the basis of like some other societal qualifier.
Okay. Then all of that makes perfect sense then. Yeah. That makes sense.
Okay.
That's all I had to say.
All right. No problem then.
Okay, goodbye.
Goodbye. We like a critical thinker over here. We like a critical thinker. Anybody else think they got what it takes to step into the Thunderdome? Just kidding. Gender identity is based off feelings. That's why people have a hard time accepting it. There needs to be another way to validate. So I shouldn't accept anybody's marriage then. Marriages are based on feelings. So when somebody comes up to me, they're like, this is my wife. No, I'm sorry. You need another way to validate that. Like, it can't just be feelings based. You love her? No, validate that some other way. You're basing that on feelings. We base like most things off of feelings. Like most things in our life are based around the way we feel and the way our brains perceive the world. That's why I hate that argument. you know? Like, I'm trying to think, like, what are some things that, like, we don't base around feelings? Like, it's so many things. Yes, I know identity is not a feeling. It's an internal sense of self. I'm just talking about that I'm talking about feelings very broadly. Transphobia is based on feelings? True. So true, bestie. Archaeology is all just feelings. That's why marriage is backed by paperwork. Okay, so then let's back trans people by paperwork. Change their driver's license, change their medical records. There you go. Gender identity is backed by a litany of paperwork. It's backed by scientific research. It's backed by sociological research. It's backed by psychological research. It's backed by biological research. Trans folks already do that. Yeah, I just mean like broadly, like blanket it across the entire country. The human species is just feelings. Yeah, kind of. That's kind of what separates us from animals, is we can like think in the abstract. We can have an internal sense of self. We haven't really seen a lot of evidence that animals have internal senses of self. Not in the way that we do. I'm not doing a horizontal stream today to see if it helps with call volume. Thank y'all for the super chats. We're going to do them all at the end of stream. Don't worry. All super chats get ready at the end of stream. That's the way the news goes. Like, one, it's a bad argument because, like, we know identity isn't like a technically feelings-based thing. But, like, it's also just like, who would care if it was? Like, it doesn't change the argument. Free Palestine, true. The book about the CIA I recommended was Killing Hope. I don't think I have it here. No, I have it back in the studio. Killing Hope by William Blum. It's a good book. Make sure y'all are liking the live too. Like, on God, if you're watching on YouTube, like this shit. Like this shit, baby. Yo, not someone actually choosing yes, but I'm too scared to call in the poll. That's so funny. In the vertical stream, any way to put topics on the bottom of the stream? No, because the comments will block them. I can no, I can't. Yeah, the comments will block them if I do that. No, horizontal stream will be back. I'm just testing this to see if we get callers. But a lot of times the callers call. Oh, what? Yeah, I know auto screener's on. It's okay. We got some people in the calling queue. They're just being screened, except for Dirk. Dirk, we've done this multiple times. Dirk, go face the wall. Dirk calls into my show. He calls into the line. Get the fuck out of here, bro. How many times do we have to teach you this lesson, old man? Let's see what we get. God, it would be great if we hit a point where there's so many callers, we have to have like 2 call-in screeners on at all times. Like, that'd be so much fun. Those jingling bells sound uncaffeinated. Kinda. Sometimes people leave you halfway through the woods. Bro, I started posting my videos on TikTok again and it fucking demonetizes them constantly. It's like, this is not your original content. And I'm like, motherfucker, it's me. What do you mean? But these accounts that be reposting my shit and getting way more views than that's okay. Eat my ass. I hate TikTok's fucking auto mod shit. That would require you to brave callers. No, true. Truer words. Oh my God, my rewrite of the Bugs Life script is so much better, you guys. I'm so happy with it. I'm not done because I've been like, I added a bunch to it, but I'm so happy I decided to start over on that. Oh my God, I'm so happy I decided to start over. And I'm like, oh, just wait. I don't want to spoil anything, but it's cooking. Don't worry, callers. The screeners will get to you. Javon writes fanfic. No. This is a video essay about a bug's life and revolution. So many people are dumping Trump and don't want to support him anymore. Yeah, because listen, I know a lot of people through like the debate scene who ditched him because of the Epstein shit. Crazy that was their line in the sand. You know, it wasn't any of the other shit he did. But hey, a win's a win, right? I saw another person on TikTok. There's this one dude on TikTok when I was in one of Dan Charles' lives who was like, I just can't get over this, man. And he was talking about the Bill Clinton blowjob. I was like, all the shitty things Trump has done, and the thing that you can't get over is the Bill Clinton blowjob. Okay, let's bring the next person. Next up, we have Nova. Nova wants to debate Christianity, says there is a good reason to believe in Christianity. Let's find out what that reason is. Nova, if you can hear me, please provide me your age and pronouns.
I'm 33 and he, him.
Okay, Nova. Now, you said there is a good reason to believe in Christianity. What would that reason be?
First of all, hi. How are you? I hope that you're having a great day.
I'm chilling.
Me, I guess the issue that I took with the prompt is to say that there's like no good reason to believe in Christianity whatsoever. But personally, I find that obviously not everyone, because a lot of people lay false claims and they've bastardized what it means to even be a Christian, and they use it more of like a fashion label.
Well,
but
just really quickly, I'm not saying there's no good reason to be a Christian. I'm saying there's could be good reasons for people to want to be a Christian, such as like they want a sense of community or they need help from the church, whatever. I'm saying there's no good reason to believe in Christianity.
Okay. So for me, and personal belief is the merits to believe in Christianity can come from spiritual growth, spiritual enlightenment and fulfillment, and not even taking into account things like you said, community and help from the church, because, you know, all of those things are great, but you don't even really necessarily need to be a Christian to receive those things. At least in a church that practices what they preach, they shouldn't require you to be a Christian to participate in those things. But I always looked at it as Christianity as a source of like growth and personal relationship with the Lord. The book itself is more of an allegory, though, because I think a lot of people try to take it as like a literary device, and they use it.
I'm a little confused. Hold on. Just want to reset.
Oh no, my fault.
I want to reset for a second. Why would this be a good reason to believe in Christianity, right? Christianity is telling us that a lot of things are true that we know factually about the universe or just cannot be. So why would my spiritual enlightenment be a good reason to believe in men rising from the dead, virgin births, people walking on water, miracles? Why would that be a good reason for me to believe in any of this?
Okay. So and again, I know a lot of Christians who would disagree with what I'm about to say, which is fine. You know, I'm not here to force my beliefs, but I take the book because it was obviously written by man and interpret it through the biases of man. And man has a tendency to exaggerate a lot of things. So I take it as a lot of the stories written are more like allegories. They're more life lessons than to be taken literally. And I probably, again, will be flamed for this, which is fine. But things like the infinite fish glitch out of the bucket, feeding like 1,000 people, or all of those things, I take it as like a story of selflessness and stuff like that. But for me, where I found merit in Christianity, because I'm half Samoan, half Japanese. I was born and raised in Samoa. I was raised off of the Samoan gods. and there's like gods for everything.
I'm just
And
wait. I'm sorry.
when I
Nova. I'm just confused. You haven't given me. You've been saying a lot of things, but you haven't told me. If you're saying there are parts of, like, the book is written by man, and you don't necessarily believe everything in the book,
right,
what in the book should I believe and why?
I believe. Oh, okay. So the parts of the Christian book that I think do hold water is the commandment and lessons taught within the book.
I can get those lessons out of Buddhism. Why do I need that from Christianity?
You can, and I'm not. I'm not saying that Christianity should be the exclusive go-to
but my question to you is
religion.
what is a good reason to believe in Christianity? And you're saying, well, the good reason to believe in Christianity is because of this thing that you can get from like a million other worldviews and religions. So what would be the reason to believe in Christianity over all of those? There wouldn't be any.
Well, again, that's what I was saying. If your relationship with the Lord is more of a personal one more than a widespread one. There are some people who do take heed in Buddhism. There are in Taoism or paganism. There's plenty of people who found their personal connection in those. But I'm saying that Christianity, Christianity especially, and maybe it's more so biased to the West, has been like the go-to buzzword for so many to try to wash their negative actions.
Okay.
And then over time, it's like, well, this Christianity thing.
Nova, right now you're just preaching. Let's take one thing, right? We'll take one thing from Christianity. Why should I believe that Jesus returned from the dead? Why should I believe he resurrected?
Well, not all sects of Christianity believe that specifically. Christianity is like an umbrella term.
What sect of Christianity doesn't believe that Jesus resurrected from the dead?
And I could be mistaken, but I'm pretty sure. What is the proper term? Judaism? I'm pretty sure they don't even believe Jesus was God's son.
Judaism is not a Christian sect. Judaism is, first of all, Judaism predates Christianity. Judaism is just the Jewish faith.
They don't. Christianity is just a religion of being like a. Well, I guess Christianity is specifically to be Christ-like.
Christianity
and they don't believe
means
in,
you believe in Christ as the Messiah, and that he was Son of God, sent to redeem us of our sins, and resurrected after 3 days in the tomb. That's Christianity.
Okay, well, if you're asking specifically then why believe in his resurrection, then if you believe there to be a heaven and you believe that you wish to go, if you choose to believe in that faith, then to believe in Christ's resurrection.
Why should I believe there's a heaven? What evidence do you have of a heaven?
What evidence do I don't have a personal evidence of a heaven, but there are plenty of things that even if you're agnostic that you believe in without any empirical truth to it.
Like what?
Okay, well, for example, I have been told of the universe ever expanding, which they're using math and things like that. There's understandings of the universe.
We have evidence of the universe's expansion.
There is scientific theories of wormholes. They say that time travel is possible if you can go beyond the speed of light, but we can't prove it because you can't go faster than the speed of light. But they said if you are able to do it.
Nova, that's why those are just those aren't scientific theories, because scientific theories are going to mean something a little different. But those are just hypotheses that have no proof behind them. Like, right? Like we're just hypothesizing about what could or could not be.
Right, but there are plenty of scientists like Neil deGrasse Tyson, who I respect immensely, incredibly smart individual. He says all the time that he fully believes that time travel would be possible if we can just figure out a way to go faster than the speed of light,
Well,
which is fine. I'm pretty sure he's
wait,
probably
but that's
right.
because there's evidence of that. We know that light, when light travels, we know about how that time is relative, and we know that when you go faster, the time relative to you will become slower than those around you. We know
Right,
this. We have
but
evidence that
we
this is
have
what
not
happens.
successfully proved it.
No,
But I still believe that he's probably correct.
Do you want to know how you can prove it? Do you want to know how you can prove it? Look up into the sky and look at a star. You've proved it. The light from the star time is relative. The star where it is has already burned out. The light from the star is reaching us millions upon millions of years later.
Yes, but that doesn't prove that going faster than the speed of light would allow me to go back in time.
No, he doesn't say going faster than the speed of light will let you go back in time. He's saying that when you go speed of light, your time will slow down relative to the time of everybody who's not moving at the speed of light. So what will happen is you will go forward in time, essentially. If you traveled at the speed of light and you went 1,000 years, like 1,000 light years away to and from, or you can even be 1 light year. I don't remember how long the distance of 1 light year is. It's 5 point something miles, like to like infinite degree. But like, let's say you go, it's 6 trillion miles. Okay, so 1 light year is 6 trillion miles. So let's say you go 1 light year away. You go 6 trillion miles and you come back, and it takes you a day. The Earth would have aged, what, a couple thousand years by the time you get back?
Possibly. I know that astronauts, they experience different times being up there and stuff like that.
This isn't a possibly. This is how light works.
Right. But what I'm saying is, because you asked me how could I believe in something without any evidence of it? And I'm saying because we haven't achieved that scientific theory, but there are plenty of people who still believe it to be possible. And that's not the only scientific theory. There's the theory that black holes are, what some people have said wormholes, some people said black holes. If you're able to survive the spaghettification of going through one, you could pop out into different universe.
They're making hypotheses with zero proof. Like they don't claim that this is like 100% going to be a thing that happens. But my question to you is, you're saying there are good reasons to believe in Christianity. Yes. You're saying there are good reasons to do that. Okay. So, what would be the what is the good reason for me to even believe that a God exists?
Well, one that I'm sure some people don't necessarily agree with because they will say human morality, but one of the reasons to believe that a God exists, it provides purpose in what otherwise would be a sea of aimlessness. Some people don't necessarily need purpose in their life, and that's perfectly fine.
I'm sorry. That's not a good reason to believe. That's not a good reason to believe in God. That it gives you purpose. That's not a good reason to believe that. Like what? That's not a reason. Why? It's interesting to me that at any of the times that we talk about like whether there's a good reason to believe in the Lord, whether there's a good reason to believe in any of this, people say, well, it's because of how you inwardly feel and how that shapes your belief. But that doesn't tell me about the physical reality of the universe. This isn't telling me that the physical reality of our universe is that a God exists. That's not a good reason to believe in that claim.
Well, because you didn't ask me physical reason to believe, you just asked me a general reason to believe.
No,
but if you mean physically, let's say that you don't believe in the morality of the Bible, you don't believe in the resurrection of Christ and all of that, then at the very least, if you want like physical belief, like why should I physically believe that there's a being that created everything, that would just be to try to achieve a deeper understanding of the universe. You could believe that there was an explosion that came from absolutely nothing. But
The
then
Big Bang,
anytime a scientist
the Big
asks,
Bang
well, there
doesn't come
has to
from
be
the Big
something
Bang
before
doesn't.
nothing.
Hold on, hold on, hold
Talking
on,
about the
hold
Big
on.
Bang.
This is a misconception of what the Big Bang is. The consensus on the Big Bang is not that nothing came from, or that something came from nothing. That's not what the Big Bang is telling us. The Big Bang says that all matter in the universe was condensed and packed deep enough until a burst of energy sent it all flying outward. Not
That I
there
do
was
understand.
nothing.
I was
Not
more
that there
so
was
speaking
nothing there.
colloquially. I
don't
don't
know.
like literally mean that it
I
came
don't know
from
why we're speaking
absolutely nothing.
colloquially.
I just mean that I was just speaking colloquially, that there was just nothing really happening, and then it all condensed, and then it exploded with no real rhyme or reason.
Yeah, why is that a good reason to believe
But
in God?
even if you believe, like, you don't want to believe in, like, the morality of the Bible or anything like that, a deeper understanding of, well, is it possible that the Lord condensed the matter or whatever was floating around, condensed it, created the universe, is entirely possible.
I disagree. I don't think it is possible.
That's perfectly fine, but neither one of us have any evidence to suggest otherwise.
Well, I'm not making a claim. I'm saying your claim is improbable.
Well, we both are making a claim, because you're
No.
saying that it's not possible. That in and itself is an actual claim.
It's a
You're saying
response
that
to
there's
your
no
claim.
possibility that there is a Lord. And
Yeah,
I'm saying
it's a
that
response to your
I
claim.
believe that there is a possibility.
Based on what?
Well, again, it's like you don't want to use the Bible as a basis. What also would make me believe that there is something out there is that I don't believe that for no rhyme or reason that all of matter would have just condensed. Something sparked that happening. And I choose to believe
The
that
problem is
the
when you
Lord
get,
sparked that happening.
yeah, it's just a God of the gaps. It's just I can't explain what the reason, so I'm just going to believe it was a God. It's not a
Well, I
good
mean,
reason.
that's where
For
my
early
faith comes
humans,
from. I believe that
wait. Early humans
someone
couldn't
caused
tell
it to
you.
happen.
Early humans couldn't tell you why the sun rose. They believed it was a god carrying it across a chariot through the sky. That doesn't
That is
make them
true.
right. There was
I
something
know
scientific that they couldn't
in
explain
Samoan
yet.
culture, they believe coconuts came from you taking the guts of an eel, putting it in the sand, and then a coconut tree popped out.
Yeah, so all you're saying is like I am going to believe in the way these old primitive humans believed, which is with no logical
My basis
backing.
is not based on what someone chose to teach me. It was based on me going out and being like, okay, these are the things I researched. This is what I feel is most plausible. This is what makes the most amount of sense to me.
You haven't done any
But one of the
research on
things
this. What are you
that's
talking
also
about?
taught is the belief that there is nothing out there is also something that's taught to a bunch of people. That is said that, hey, there is no God. There's no rhyme or reason to the universe. We're just here. It just is. And then some people do choose to believe that, and that's perfectly fine. But I choose to believe
Okay, but
that
Nova,
there.
you have yet to provide any compelling evidence for why we should believe in Christianity.
I
You just
did.
keep
I gave several reasons.
you just keep saying there is no evidence, but I just choose to believe this. So then that's not a good
No,
reason to believe in something.
I gave you spiritual reasons why to believe, but you said spiritual reasons don't count. That I had to provide a physical reason.
No,
So then I said,
said
okay. Then I
no,
switched
no. That's
away
not what
from
I said.
spiritual
That's not what I
reasons.
said. I said your inner spirituality doesn't prove a factual, observable fact about our universe. So no, that's not a
But
good
what
reason
you
to
said was
believe.
there was no reason to believe, and then I
I
provided
said there's no
one.
good reason.
And
There's
then,
no
and
good
again,
reason.
I
There's
don't mean
tons
to
of
say this as like
wait, stop, Nova. There's tons of bad reasons to believe. There are tons of reasons. I said there's no good reason to believe. All you've
I did
provided
give you
me.
good reasons.
No, none of those are good reasons.
Well, that's
I should
an objective thing to say.
I
Then
should believe that God exists and that Jesus came down to heal from our sins because it got you closer spiritually to where you want to be. No, that's not a good reason to believe that these things happen.
Your prompt. Hold on. Your prompt wasn't that I needed to provide a good reason to
Yes, it
convince
is.
you to believe in Christianity. You
No,
said that there was just no good reason
Yes,
to
and your
believe.
reasons and your
That was a
reasons aren't.
blatant statement.
Yes, and your reasons aren't good.
They are, but that's the thing. You're just saying they're not good enough to convince you.
No,
but
I'm
that's
saying
not
they're
what the
not good,
prompt was.
period. They're not good evidence to believe in Christ. They're not good evidence to believe in the Lord. They're not good evidence for this. There's no good reason that
your
you're
prompt
giving.
wasn't that I needed to provide empirical evidence to prove to you
Without
that
empirical
Christianity
evidence, there's no good
is the
reason to
one
believe it.
true religion.
Sorry, but without
The
empirical
prompt
evidence, there's no
was
good reason to believe in Christianity. Without empirical
right,
evidence,
and
there's
I
no good
gave
reason
you
to
a
do that.
reason why I believed in Christianity.
Yes, and I'm just telling you it
and you
wasn't
said that
good.
my personal reason for
It's not
believing
good, yes.
wasn't a good reason. But that
Correct.
changes the goalpost.
No, your reason is not good. There's no good reason to believe in Christianity. You've not provided a good reason. You've provided a personal reason for you, but your reason for you is not a good reason to believe in Christ. It could be your reasoning could apply to every other religion on the planet. And I didn't say there's no good reason not to be religious, right? I said there's no good reason to believe in Christianity.
Right.
You don't have one.
Again, that's like me saying that there is no good reason to this, and this is not a personal belief, this is just to go there out there. There is no good reason to not commit murder. If you want something, there's no good reason to not kill a person and take it. And then if someone's like, well, it's against the law, and they're like, okay, but the law's man-made, so there's no real reason. We just created an arbitrary
That's a very
law to not
incoherent
kill someone.
analogy.
That changes the goalpost.
That's a very incoherent
Because if you just tell me there's no good reason whatsoever in this world to believe in Christianity, and then
Correct.
I tell you, well, it provides spiritual fulfillment and guidance in a person's life, because that's what it did for me. It was a very good reason because I was a very different person prior to following the teachings that I found through the book.
It's not a good reason.
And it made
to
me a better
believe.
person and gave me a better impact in the lives of those around me.
Not a good reason
now, I
to
don't
believe in it.
Right,
That's
but
not a good
you're just
reason
saying
for
that just doesn't convince you.
You becoming a better person is not a good reason to believe in magic. Full stop.
Again, but you're just saying that it's just not enough to convince you to
I'm
believe
saying
into
you
it.
becoming a better person is not a good reason for someone to believe that magic is real.
Spiritual fulfillment was the original thing that I said.
And it's not a good reason to believe in magic.
It provided multiple reasons.
It's not a good reason to believe in magic. It doesn't prove that Jesus rose from the dead. It doesn't prove any of the miracles happen. It didn't prove that God exists. So without these things, there's no...
wasn't to prove that those things happen.
If you believe in Christianity, it means you believe in the things Christianity says. Not just like, I'm a Christian at heart and I want to do the things that... No, you believe in what Christianity is saying, which means you believe there was a man who was born a virgin birth. It means you believe that he is the Son of the Lord. You believe in God the Son and the Holy Spirit. You believe that he rose from the dead after being crucified. You believe that Moses parted the Red Sea. This is stuff you'd have to believe in Christianity.
Your prompt
says there's no good reason to believe in Christianity. No, thanks for being here. Prompt says there's no good reason to believe in Christianity. Not there's no good reason to be spiritual. Because I became a better person from being spiritual. Hey, that's a good reason to be spiritual. It's not a good reason to believe in magic, but that might be a good reason to be a little spiritual. Shout out to Music for the pay to boot. Like I want a good reason to that I should believe in magic. Some people get spiritual fulfillment from feet pics is not a thing I expected to read today, but low-key kind of true. Let's bring in the next person. Next up, coming on the show, we have Adam. Adam wants to talk about topic number 5. Adam, can you provide me your age and pronouns, please?
Hello. my name is Adam. I am 22, and I am he/him pronouns.
Okay, now Adam, you want to talk about topic 5 about trans men and women being men and women. What did you want to talk about specifically?
So, in specifically, and I do apologize. This is my first time ever like debating anything, so cut me a little slack. But there was an instance, I believe, in November, so not too long ago, and it was in the Strong Woman competition. Now, it is held annually, and and correct me if I'm wrong, please. There was a man who had, who what do you call it? Transitioned to being a female, and they came into the competition, unbeknownst to the people running the competition.
So it was a woman or was it a man?
And unbeknownst to everyone, essentially, like not many people knew about this, and it later came out that they were transgender and they were biologically a male who had transitioned to female. Now, they won the competition and took first place. So, at the end of the day, the organizers found out, hey, they were biologically a male, so we're going to strip the title from them. And I kind of wanted to ask you how you thought about that, or what were your thoughts on that?
I mean, were they a woman?
They were a man who turned into a woman.
They were a trans woman.
Yes.
So they were a woman. So then they should have competed in the women's competition. So I have no issue with them winning because they're a woman.
But they weren't a woman. They're biologically a male.
I don't care what their sex is. I could give a shit what their sex is. It's not called the strong male games. It's not called the strong female games, right?
It's called the strong woman competition, and they were not a woman. They were a man.
No, you said they're a trans woman. So that means they're a woman.
That means that they're a trans woman, which should be a separate category?
Nope. So, it would be a regular category with woman. It would be the same category as a woman.
See, here's my issue with that. Okay, and I have issues with this. I'm pretty big into bodybuilding, and I think that in they're not sharing their identity and all that kind of stuff, it kind of put everyone in the competition at a disadvantage. If you have a 6'4", 300-pound chick going into the competition, yeah, I get it. But if it's a 300-pound dude who turned into a chick,
the winner, Jamie Booker, who was the person who won, the woman who won, won by 1 point.
Yes.
That's not an unfair advantage to lose by 1 point. What are you talking about?
I think it is.
If I played a one-on-one game against LeBron and I lost by a point, would you say that I was unfairly LeBron had an unfair advantage against me? I lost by 1 point.
I'd say that you were the fucking GOAT.
I lost by. Are you engaging? Hold on, stop. Engage in the actual conversation. I don't care about whether he's the GOAT. If I only lost by 1 point, was I unfairly advantaged? No.
What is fucking basketball has nothing to do with this?
It's called an analogy, my G.
Do
you know how analogies work?
No, I fucking understand it. Okay.
Okay. So then I don't know. So then I don't know. I don't know what you're. Okay. I mean, that was an idiotic. That was an idiotic thing to say. So if you don't want me to come at you like you're an idiot, don't say things that are idiotic.
So here's the thing: is how I started off this conversation very politely.
I don't care how you started off the conversation. I don't care.
To be polite and ask to be respectful, and you're getting upset at me. I don't really like that, man.
Nobody's upset at you. I don't care. Focus on the conversation at hand. If I lost to LeBron James by 1 point, would you say LeBron James has an unfair advantage against me?
Yes.
How? How do you substantiate that in any meaningful way?
So LeBron James has been playing basketball for fucking years.
And I was able to keep up with him, say for 1 point. So
Yeah, but
where's
he
the
still has an unfair
advantage?
advantage.
What advantage if I'm able to keep up with him? What's the advantage? If I can play as well as he can, what is the advantage?
Dude, that's okay. Hold on. So, do you know the average, let's say, bench press for a
Doesn't
woman
matter what the average is. I'm looking at the people who competed at this event. The runner-up, Andrea Thompson, only lost by 1 point.
Yeah.
1 point.
Dude, she's been fucking sacrificing her goddamn life for this.
1 point. She lost by 1 point. So where is the unfair advantage?
Dude, that it's a fucking dude lifting, bro.
She lost by 1 point.
Okay, it doesn't matter
this?
about the 1
Is
point,
this how
bro.
smart 22-year-olds are now? 1 point is an unfair advantage to you?
Dude, you have to understand the logistics of this thing, man.
You have to be able to think logically for a second. 1 point.
And that's what I'm doing, man.
1 point.
Are you fucking kidding me?
1 point.
Dude, if you ignore the scoring, right? If you just completely whatever, she won the
Really? Let's go through how that was scored. They had the long press. They had the event one was the log press, right? Andrea Thompson was able to do 4 reps of 250 pounds. Jamie Booker, the person who you're claiming had this massive advantage over her, was only able to do 1 rep of 250 pounds. The cisgender woman was able to lift more than her, or was able to, in the log press, do more than her. Where's the advantage?
Listen.
No, let's go to event 2, which is the timber frame carry. Let's go to event 2. Event 2, the timber frame carry. Jackie Rhodes won that event. Jackie Rhodes, a cisgender woman, won that event 19.24 seconds. Jamie Booker was 20.24 seconds. Where's the unfair advantage? She's losing in these categories to cisgender women. Let's go to event 3, the deadlift ladder. Andrea Thompson was able to do 4 in 20.36 seconds. Jamie Booker was only able to do 3 in 35.20 seconds. Where's the advantage? You people say this shit all the time, and it's so annoying that I'm going to start holding people to goddamn fire. Show the advantage. Show the advantage. I mean dumbass transphobes like you who refuse to do any research before you decide to call. Yeah, you are. Yeah, you are stupid. When you call me, here, you're going to get muted. I don't give a fuck. My fuse is short today, and you're going to get the brunt of it. When you call me and you tell me, well, he's a man competing in this. Yes, you are transphobic, stupid. That's instantly you're transphobic. What the fuck are you talking about? Oh, I'm not homophobic. I just think gays are dumb. Like what? Shut the fuck up. Secondly, you didn't know any of this shit before you started calling me. I'm so sick of people who don't shut up. No, I can't. I'm so sick of motherfuckers who refuse to do any research before they call me. You didn't research this shit. You don't know what the times of these people were. Where's the advantage? So far, we are what? Where are we? Four events deep, and the person you claim has an advantage hasn't come in first place once. Not one time. We're 4 events deep. So where's the advantage? Love to hear it. Now you may speak.
Cool. You good? We can take a breath. Is that okay?
Where's the advantage? I don't care. Where's the advantage? Where is it?
The advantage in my head is that he was a biological man. That was the advantage in my head.
Thank you for proving that it was all in your head. That's all I need. Thank you.
Hold on. I'm gonna say right now, you did get me on this. You did your research, and my apologies for showing up with the lack of information. So I do apologize for that.
Yeah, do better next time.
I'll get there eventually. I'm not trying to do this professionally or anything, but I don't mean to sound like a transphobe, and I also apologize for that. I think it kind of got off to a rough start, but I think that everyone should coexist. The end. I don't care if anyone is.
If you want to be serious about that, you should apologize to all of the people who watched, not just to me, but to all of the people currently watching that are trans. Because that kind of language, when you go in and you're calling trans women men and saying that they shouldn't be allowed to compete and that they have that kind of language is detrimental and harmful to the entirety of the community.
And to all the viewers who are trans, even if you are not trans, I do sincerely apologize if I said anything that offended anyone. I do apologize for that.
Well, hold on, Adam. Hold on. You know specifically what it is you said. So don't say, I'm sorry if I offended anyone. Apologize for the actual words you used. Otherwise, it's not really an apology, right? You're essentially saying, I'm sorry if the words I said hurt you. No. Apologize for the specific words using. If you're going to take the time to apologize, do it sincerely. Don't do it in a cop-out way.
Dude, I thought that was pretty sincere. Sorry.
No. When someone says, I apologize that what I said offended you, that's not a sincere apology. Because they're not being specific. Apologize for the actual words that you used, right? You know what the words were. You only said them 11 minutes ago.
Yeah.
If I were and I'm respectfully, if I were to come up here and go like, yo, Adam, you're a cuck, your mom sucks, fuck your dad, all this. And then I went, I'm sorry if any of that offended you, Adam. Sorry, it was my intention, that's right? You'd be like, what the fuck kind of apology was that?
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. Yeah, so sorry for misgendering the trans community and for using hurtful words and saying that. Sorry, Jesus Christ. Sorry, I apologize for that. Jesus Christ. I'm sorry that hold up. Sorry, I had to think through my words. I apologize. But I'm sorry that I put you in a separate category and I guess but segregated you guys in the fact that you guys God damn, this is hard for me, man. This is making me think.
Change is hard. Our brains don't like when there's change.
Yeah.
Like it physically hurts our brains.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now it's not my apology to accept. It's not for me to accept. That's on any of the trans people watching. But
yep, that is correct. Wow, that was that's mind opening. Thank you for that.
Yeah, sure.
And thank you to the trans community for being, I mean, I've never actually met a trans person before, but I'm sure you guys are amazing. So thank you.
Yep. And then now all you got to do is break free of the inherent, like that internalized transphobia, which is just present in all of us. It's not like I'm not signaling you out. Internalized transphobia is there in all of us to get you to the point where you can recognize that trans women are women.
Dude, that was a brain blast to me. Wow. Thank you, guys.
No problem, Adam. You have a good rest of your day.
You too.
Sometimes bullying works. I was not expecting that ending, but somehow my speech check must have been real good on that one to get to that ending. Like, my charisma must have been maxed out. Holy shit, dude. Someone needs to take a clip of that and like put the Skyrim speech check. That was crazy. But hey, I'm glad. Listen, that ended up feeling like a very sincere apology. Not mine to accept. Again, it's not mine to accept. But it ended up feeling very sincere. Compared to like half the people that call in. It just pisses me off. Like, because it's always this conversation about an advantage. And I'm like, how is this person advantaged when they're not winning? Like, yes, they won the overall event because they just placed better than other people. But like in the individual competitions, they're not winning. June, thank you for the Venmo. Spencer, thank you for the Venmo. Crazy. Thank you guys for the Venmo. Thank you so much for supporting the stream. I gotta pee and then we'll get back to calls. Okay, let me go to the bathroom first. No, I was a little short fused. I recognize it. I mean, I don't care that I was a little short fused. It just really annoys me when we're like, and this isn't picking on Adam. This is anybody that calls in. It annoys me when someone calls in to talk about something, and it ends up being, I didn't research this thing at all before I called in. That just ends up irking me. Let me go to the bathroom real quick, and then I'll be right back. Taylor, thank you for the Venmo as well. Thank you, friend. Be right back. Let me tinkle. Dude, that conversation woke me the fuck up. Woke me the fuck up. All right. Okay. Like literally, it jolted me awake, that last conversation. Let's bring in the next person. Next up, coming on the stream, we have David. David is pro-life, and David thinks abortion has negative impacts on society. So let's find out. David, if you can hear me, can you please provide me with your age and pronouns?
Sure. My name is David. I'm 19 years old, and I'm a dude.
Okay, so what are your pronouns?
So I'll just say he, him. But I don't want to debate this right now.
Well, that's why you should just say it. No problem. Now, David, you think that there are good reasons to be anti-abortion and that abortions negatively impact society. What are the negative impacts abortion has on society?
Sure. I think that the main thing I'm focusing on in this debate is the current demographic crisis that's happening across the world with just a bunch of younger people having to support older populations, increasingly aging populations. And it just puts a lot of strain on our social systems, on Social Security, Medicare, all that. And I think that us killing a significant portion of unborn people is really contributing to that. And I think that it is bad for society as a whole.
How does abortion put a negative strain on our Medicare systems?
Because you have less young people being born who can support an aging society. You know, if you have the population pyramid being uneven, where you have a lot more people being dependent on the government rather than giving into it, it puts a lot of strain on the systems, and these systems are not going to last forever.
How many retired Americans are there currently?
I'm not sure, but I don't think that is relevant at all to the question. And the problem is that it'd be an increasing number.
Whoa. It would be directly relevant.
I don't think so, no. Because that's not really the question. That's not really what the question is.
What? You're saying that because there are more people who need to be benefited and less people, like the number of working people is going down.
Right.
So then we would need to look at the number of people not working versus the number of people who are working. That is your whole claim.
Yes, but the problem is giving the exact number does not really change that fact. And I think it's just you playing games in order to lead me somewhere.
What?
Because, hold on.
I'm asking you to substantiate your claim.
Where we're eradicating like a large amount of the young people, and we have an ever-increasing
eradicating a large amount of the young people.
Old population, which is true and which is in fact happening. You just can't have the young people there to support the system, and the system's going to collapse in on itself. If you want to at least have like these social programs that I know we all support.
It just seems like you're running away from substantiating your claim.
I don't think so. I don't think so. I think that my claim is very relevant. It is a fact for sure that we have an increasing old population.
Yes, but we also have an increasing young population.
Well, that's not true.
Yes, it is.
Well, I mean, we have a birth rate that's probably...
Birth rate wouldn't be the only determiner of whether our young population... Birth rate wouldn't be the determination of whether our young population is increasing, because we don't just calculate the population in our country by who's born.
Right, yeah, but the problem is that's the future generation, and that's who's going to be,
and globally, birth rates globally keep going up because the amount of people on our planet keeps going up.
Well, that's not true.
What is the global birth rate?
The global birth rate now is at about 2.3, 2.4 births per woman. It was much, much higher decades before, and it keeps decreasing exponentially at like staggering numbers.
Okay, so how do we start having people? So you're saying abortion is at fault for the lowering birth rate?
No, but I don't think it's a positive contributor. I think it's a negative contributor that's making the problems worse. And
why do most people get abortions?
One reason to be anti-abortion, I think that's a good reason.
No, what you're explaining is a good reason to be anti-capitalism.
Okay. Well, I'm not pro-capitalism by any means, but
yeah. Abortion has nothing to do with this. The biggest reason why people in America, for instance, get abortions is because they can't afford a child. It's the number one reason. So it's not abortion's fault.
Okay.
Abortion is there to make sure that the financial burden of pregnancy doesn't have to be put on people who can't afford it, or the financial burden of child rearing doesn't have to be put on people that can't afford it. It's not abortion's fault. I mean, that the wealth is extracted to such a degree, right?
Mm-hmm. But I mean, with your claims, like a lot of countries are really struggling out. They have much higher birth rates, and I just don't think that claim holds. And I think that
what claim?
Being able to restrict abortion would absolutely help in this scenario with population decline.
Restricting abortion would do is it would create people who are further impoverished. How is that a net benefit?
Well, I mean, I guess so. Maybe
it sounds like you just want a poor working class to prop up a retired class.
Well, I mean, if we don't have the working class, if we have a smaller working class, that puts strain on the people who are already working.
Yes, so then it's not an abortion issue, it's a wealth distribution issue.
Absolutely. So would you be in favor of limiting Social Security then?
No, I'd be in favor of redistributing the wealth properly.
Okay, I think that that's besides the point. But I think that,
It's terrific.
well, my point is here, Social Security, I just can't believe that these systems will exist much longer with an aging population that abortion contributes to. And I think it's going to put a lot more strain on the people who are currently here.
Yeah, but the reason it's putting more strain on them is because the wealth is being extracted from them at an exorbitant rate. If the wealth wasn't extracted from them at an exorbitant, whatever the word is, if the wealth wasn't being extracted from them so highly, it wouldn't put as much of a strain on them.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not pro-capitalism by whatever means.
No, but then that's what I'm saying.
Well,
That corrects the issue, not restricting abortion. Restricting abortion doesn't, like restricting abortion, you are still going to put stress on these people because now not only do they have to pay for the retired class, they have to pay for children for 18 years. And then those children will have to then pay for children.
yeah.
So you're just replacing one financial burden with another. One that I would argue is more expensive.
Yeah, but I mean, these people age and they contribute to society. I mean, the problem is, I'm going to keep repeating myself here, probably to no fruitful end. But I don't really think that having a declining population like this that abortion contributes to.
I don't care. I don't care if the hold on, David.
Socialized.
David, I just want to, David, hold on. David. I just want to point this out. I don't care if the population declines, if it's from choice.
Okay, well that's fair, but it's going to put a lot more strain on our system. So unless you just start killing off the old people.
Yeah, but it's not abortion that's doing that. People are choosing not to have kids. They're choosing and again, the biggest reason is financial burdens. You could take abortion away and you would still have a large group of people who refuse to have children. Probably about the same amount.
Okay. I mean, yeah, that's a good point. But are you willing to acknowledge that limiting abortion would have an effect on the birth rate and increase it to any means?
And increase it
of live birth.
Any means? Yeah, what you're going to have if you restrict abortion is you are going to have more people being born into a system that you have to pay for. What do you do with all these kids that people don't want that they're putting into the system? That's more money we have to support in the system. Yes,
in the short term, but in the long term, I mean, it provides you look at the baby boom and how that ushered in
in the long term, people who are born and raised in the system tend to need systemic help for most of their lives. So we would still be supporting them throughout the bulk of their lives. So no, in the long term, it's not going to matter. These people aren't working jobs that are going to have not en masse. Let me rephrase that. The likelihood when you're born into poverty or you're put into the system is that you stay in poverty and you stay in the system, meaning you're probably not going to get as good of a job, as high paying of a job, meaning you're going to need to supplement your income through government assistance, meaning you are still going to be now the thing that you're trying to prevent.
Right. Okay. But yeah, I mean, I guess that's a good point. So, but I mean, that would go back to societal reform, which is something you and me would have a lot more in common with. So I think that there should be definitely ways that we should help these people inside these foster systems in ways that we currently aren't doing. And I think that killing them is in the womb is a far worse act than anything we can do, which goes on the moral question, which I know we're going to have deep disagreements about, and I think it would be a fruitless conversation. But I think that being able to reform the system so that these people who would be aborted can become good functioning members of society with happy lives, I think that that would be far better than
what if all those people? Wait, any of those people that we aborted could have been the next Hitler, right?
Well, yeah, they could have also been, the next president, the next pope.
They could have created the next
ridiculous
Black Plague. Like it's just speculation. I don't care what these people could have, what these like what they could have done for society. It doesn't mean anything because it's just a speculation. It's a hypothetical, right? Like at the end of the day, I don't see a moral negative in abortions. I think it's absolutely a justified thing. I think that fetuses are not agents that have moral. God, what's the word I keep forgetting all the time? I don't think fetuses are agents with moral value. So I don't see a negative in abortion. Consideration. That's what I was thinking. They don't have moral consideration.
I have a couple questions for you. So do you think that the act of abortion is purely morally neutral?
Yeah, I think it's an amoral action. Yeah. Unless it's being forced upon you, then I don't think it's an amoral action. Okay,
that's interesting because I hear a lot of people, they talk about abortion is they say it's a necessary thing that shouldn't happen.
No, I think it's an amoral action. I don't think it's
safe, legal, and rare.
No, I think it's absolutely amoral. I think if you're having an abortion that is post sentience, but like it has to still be lethal because like your life is on the line. I think then you could probably say it could potentially be unmoral but justified. But once you make the justification, then it becomes morally neutral. So like, yeah, I can't think of the like maybe an abortion where somebody's like, oh shit, my baby's gonna be black, I want him aborted. Maybe then I would say like, yeah, it's probably an immoral abortion. But like, like you still don't want it in your body, so it's still justified to get rid of it.
Oh, okay then. Do you think that there's any extent to which an abortion shouldn't happen?
I think that once the fetus is sentient or has the capacity for sentience at about 24 weeks, you should attempt to just take it out because at that point, 24 weeks, it's also viable. So like, there's no reason to necessarily kill it unless like I said, there's a medical reason. So I do think that because I believe sentience is what grants us rights. So because it has the capacity for sentience, I would say it has a right now not to be killed. It doesn't have a right not to die. Like you can take it out, and if it doesn't survive, it doesn't survive. But you can just take it out at that point.
Okay, so there is moral connotations when the fetus is sentient as compared to not.
Yes, so I think sentience is what grants you personhood.
Then there's the moral issue. Rights. Okay.
But again, it would still be a justified ending of a sentient life. So
okay. But do you think that there should be any restrictions at all past that 24-week mark? Like, do you think that
not legally? No. If hospitals or doctors want to say, "Hey, we don't do lethal abortions after this point unless it's for medical reasons," that's fine. But legally, I don't think we should have restrictions. I think restrictions don't do anything but harm and makes doctors question what they should be doing. And what we've seen from countries like Canada, who have no restrictions, they have less abortions than us per capita. Their abortions, I think it's 97% of all abortions in Canada are done before the 12th week mark. So yeah, it just seems that restrictions are just an unnecessary burden placed on doctors.
Okay, well, I mean, with the thing about that too, I don't want to. Is that oftentimes, these Canada doesn't have the same communities that we do. So, I mean, in America, very unfortunately,
communities we do. What does that mean?
A much higher amount of Black children are killed. And do you think that could have any bearings on the abortion rate in Canada?
Because what would have a bearing is that Canada has less people impoverished than we do. It's not about like Black people. It's not that Black people get abortions at a higher rate
I think a lot of Canadians would disagree with that, with the housing crisis and.
Wait, I don't care if they disagree with that. America has a higher rate of poverty than Canada.
Okay, well, I mean, countries define their idea of poverty far differently. I mean, like
yes, I would be using the same. Yes, you compare it to the cost of living. So I would be using it in the same.
Well, I mean, the cost of living in Canada is like getting ridiculous now. So I'm not sure that that's a fair point.
Again, when it comes, Canada has a more robust social safety net than we do. Like there's their cost of living is not as high as ours is. So I don't know what this is that you're saying.
Well, I mean, with housing prices, I mean, their housing prices are getting up there. They have increasing prices for goods.
Sure, I mean, but again, the thing that leads to rising abortion numbers is poverty. You've already acknowledged this.
No,
housing in the United States is 25 to 32% higher than it is in Canada. So yeah, it makes sense. Housing in the U.S. is 25 to 32% higher than Canada.
Right. Okay. Do you know when those numbers were from?
2024.
Okay. Really?
Mm-hmm. So yeah, we have more impoverished people here, so our abortion rates are higher.
Okay, but I mean, go to a bunch of other countries that have far lower abortion rates. That are, like for example, Poland. I mean, they have, I don't think that they have legalized abortions, and their abortion rate is super low, despite not being nearly as financially well off as we are.
Well, Poland has an abortion, like almost like a near full ban on abortions. So yeah, they have a low abortion rate. They have a ban.
Right. When you have a ban on abortion, it just won't occur. And I think that, I mean, that's definitely what I'd be in favor for, and I think that would be the best option, especially with the way things are going now. I think it's just a different time now, and with a decreasing population.
Best option for what?
Well, maybe not decreasing birth rate.
Wait, you haven't been. Hold on, David. This whole call, you haven't been able to substantiate why we shouldn't have abortions. So now you're just saying like, oh well, we should do a ban like this, but why? You haven't been able to justify why abortions are bad.
Well, I mean, I didn't want to go into the moral part because we're just going to fundamentally disagree there. But I think that maybe not economically, but societally, as a whole, having less young people is detrimental to society. Having less births.
Yeah, but I've already debunked this claim you made. We already went through this, and you even recognized how your argument didn't logically track when putting an abortion ban would just create more people dependent on the system than lessen the burden of people on the system.
Right, but it would. I mean, definitely in the short term, but I'm not sure how things are in the long term with this.
It would absolutely affect the long term.
People who are in the foster care system, or people who are
born in poverty, and people who are born and placed into the system tend to stay in poverty and stay within the system.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and that's why I would agree with you that we should have services to help uplift these people from poverty.
Okay, then there's no reason to ban abortion then.
Right, but I mean, that would go into the moral part, which I was trying to go with, is that I believe that, even if these people are going through poverty, I don't think that that's a good moral reason to be killing them before they come out of the womb.
Yeah, you'd have to. Hold on. So now you have to justify. Right now, you're saying it's immoral to kill a fetus in the womb. Why? Why is that an immoral thing to do?
Because it's the act of killing a human being.
Why is killing a human being immoral?
Say that again?
Why is killing a human being immoral?
Because it's it's understood that killing a person is immoral because of the way that would ripple out through society if it was normalized. If killing people was normalized, it would destroy society. Abortions
weren't normalized, and it didn't destroy society. So that
right, yeah,
conversation doesn't.
You're asking why murder was wrong.
No, I didn't ask you why murder was wrong. I asked you why killing is wrong.
Killing is wrong. Okay. So, I mean, there's nothing wrong inherently. I mean, there's a difference between killing and murder. I think that we can both agree with that in a justified killing and justified murder. But I don't think that there's...
Well, no murder is justified. Killings can be justified. Murder is inherently an unjustified killing.
Absolutely. And that's kind of how I characterize abortion, because it's, it's killing a fetus that didn't do any wrong in itself.
Okay. Why is it wrong to kill a fetus?
Because, I mean, we're just going in circles now. Because
no, we're not. You haven't substantiated. That is a circular argument. A fetus is a human being, so I know that you think it's wrong to kill a human being. I'm asking you why.
Absolutely. Well, it's because, I mean, this is just not a question I'm properly prepared for.
Well, if you're going to have a moral conversation, you need to be. Because this is really important for the moral aspect of the conversation. Let me answer the question for you, right? The reason why it's wrong to kill a human being is because you're ending that human being's lived experience. This is a human that is living. It has wants. It has needs. It has a biological drive to access those wants and needs. And ending that experience permanently is going to be a bad thing because we all know that experience. We know what it's like to end that experience. A fetus doesn't have this until 24 weeks, which is why I place my level of moral consideration at 24 weeks. When a fetus reaches that stage where it has these things, now it's got moral value. Now it becomes a person because it has the ability in the brain, it has the mechanisms in the brain to now have that experience. But sans that experience, it's be like you split a rock in half. There's nothing experiencing anything.
Okay. Do you believe there's any value in human beings apart from our lived experiences inherently?
No, I don't think there's any inherent value in humans, no.
Okay. I mean, that's where I was saying that I think that we're just going to disagree. Because I don't really think that where would humans get
where would we get our inherent value from? Where would we get inherent value from? Where would we get inherent value from?
We get inherent value from God.
Okay.
That's tracking to another question.
Well, if you want to call back another day and talk about that, you can, but I do need to move on now.
Sure. Okay. I'm sorry I wasn't able to give as constructive of a argument as possible. This is my first time doing this, so I was a little flabbergasted. But I really appreciate you having me on.
All right. You have a good one.
All right. Bye.
Every time. Always. Katie, thanks for the pay to boot. I got him out of there for you. If you guys are sending a super chat or a Venmo or something because you want to kick from the guests, make sure you say that specifically. Otherwise, I don't know. Where do we get it? From the Lord. Please don't start with the inherently. Oh my God. All right, let's bring in the next person. Next up, we have Michael. Michael is a Catholic and thinks there is a good reason to believe in God, therefore a good reason to be Christian. Let's find out. Michael, if you could provide me your age and pronouns, please.
I'm 26. My pronouns are he, him.
Okay. Now, Michael, you said there's good reason to believe in God. What would that good reason be?
Okay, so where did all of the planets, where did the solar system, the universe come from?
Don't know. Probably was always there. All the matter in the universe. All the matter in the universe was probably, has probably already.
Are you familiar with the principle of conservation of mass?
Uh-huh.
No? Okay, the conservation of mass is a scientific law that proposes mass can never be created or destroyed. It can only change forms. There is a scientific law that every scientist on the planet will agree. Matter can neither be destroyed nor created. Where did the matter come from?
Yeah, I just said the matter probably always existed, but matter can be created. So first and foremost,
no, it cannot be created. You cannot create matter.
No, matter can be created. We have evidence of this.
How are you going to create matter?
Yeah, I'll pull it up for you really quickly. There's a specific thing in like quantum physics. I was reading about this the other day. Let me pull it up.
Mm-hmm.
Good. Okay, so yeah, we're gonna see this in particle accelerators. So when particle accelerators smash atoms together, they create brand new atoms that did not previously exist. It's not atoms that exist using the components of the other atoms. They are brand new. So that's matter that's been created. We're gonna see this in what is it? There's these things that will pop up. It's not quarks, but they'll like come into existence and then they'll like fade away. That's matter, bang, 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 being created. But this aside, is it the Higgs? Is that what I'm thinking of, chat? This aside, whether matter can be created or not doesn't matter. I just, like I said, the universe could have just always existed. There could have the matter could have always been here, and there was never any point in which the matter didn't always exist.
That's not true. Every science world will tell you matter cannot be created or destroyed. What you're talking about in particle accelerators is they don't create new atoms. They create the atoms that were in existence are disassembled, reassembled different.
No, the Higgs
ways.
The Higgs boson particles did not exist prior to that, except that particle acceleration, particle smashing. It did not exist, and it does not exist using matter that was previously here. It's completely new.
The Higgs boson particles are not matter; they're energy. That's different.
Higgs bosons are particles. That would be matter.
The light is not matter. We describe the waves in a particle. It has no mass. Matter has mass. Higgs boson particles, photons, they're massless. So it's not matter. I mean, you can debate their matter, but either way, they have no mass. Matter has mass. I would say light is not matter. Even though light has
the Higgs boson has mass. It's specifically measured at 125 giga electron volts. So it's about 133 times heavier than a proton. It's got about the same mass as an atom of gold. That's just from me looking on Google. But again, like I said, the universe could have just always existed. Even if we operate under the assumption matter couldn't be created, the universe didn't need to be created. It could just always been here. It could be a constant. This isn't evidence that God exists. Yeah. Did you have any other evidence that God exists?
Where I would argue that where did the energy come from to cause the Big Bang? I guess is the next question.
It's always been here.
Where did it come from?
It was a constant, so it didn't come from anywhere. It's a constant.
Okay, again, the fundamental law of physics, you cannot.
But if you're just using this for God of the gaps, all that's going to happen is we're going to get into an infinite regress. Because I'm just going to say, where's the energy that created God? How did God get his energy? And then what you're going to say is, God.
I would argue God is eternal, and He put in the energy to create the solar system.
Wait, exactly. So you're saying my theory is illogical because I'm saying the universe is, and the energy of the universe is eternal. But then you come back with like, well, there's God, and God was eternal with His eternal energy. It's just it's an infinite regress. If God can be eternal and his energy can have always existed, the universe could be eternal with an energy that always existed. This isn't strong evidence for God. It's evidence that we don't know how the universe started, but it's not evidence for a God.
Well, you know how the universe started. There's very strong evidence to support the Big Bang Theory.
Yeah, well, the Big Bang Theory is just the start of our known universe, like the visible universe. But I don't believe that the matter in the universe has ever not been here. I believe the matter of the universe has been a constant, and it has always existed.
We can prove that you cannot create or destroy matter. Although we're getting back to his boson particle.
Again, I'm not saying it was created or destroyed. I'm saying it's always been. It's a constant.
Right. But you cannot. How did it come to be? It cannot just be. It's not.
How did God come to be?
I don't think he did.
There you go. Literally take that exact thought process and put it for the universe.
Taking out of the equation, where did the matter come from?
And put it over here. I don't know. I just told you. I don't think it came from anywhere. I think it has always existed.
And how did that create the universe? You're bringing energy from where? Where's the energy?
What are you talking about? The energy has always existed.
In what form? Where?
In millions of forms. All around us. I don't know what you're saying.
How did the energy, the Big Bang caused a huge surge in energy?
No, it didn't cause. No. It didn't cause a surge of energy because one of the key points of energy is conserved. Energy doesn't disappear. Yeah. Energy just moves elsewhere. So when all of the mass of the universe that had all of the energy that exists in the universe got really hyper condensed, all that energy starts building and building and building. Then at some point just hit a peak and goes boom, and now outwardly expands.
Why is everything condensing?
Who knows? I sometimes I vibe with the theory that what happens is the universe will expand to a point of a peak, and then it will start retracting from that.
I can agree with that.
Like if I had a rubber band and I stretch that rubber band as far as it will go, and I let go, that rubber band is snapping back into place.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you on that.
Yeah, so I don't need a God for that. It can literally just be a constant expand and contract of the known universe, and that could just be something that always happens.
Does it not have to start somewhere?
No.
Why not?
Because again,
how does it not start from anywhere?
If that's the case, your God also needs to start from somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
If your God can be eternal and always having existed, then so can this. It makes the exact same amount of sense.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Do you have any other evidence for
God? Go from there. Not really. I would encourage you at some point to look at Thomas Aquinas' 5 Proofs.
To look at what?
Of God, just on your own time. I'm a Catholic, born and raised, and I've reaffirmed that several times. I would encourage you to look into Thomas Aquinas' 5 Proofs on your own time. I don't understand them well enough to debate this right now. When do you stream?
Every day. So I don't know. I don't have set times.
Okay. I might do some research around and try back later. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. No problem then. I'm just gonna drop the call. Okay. Please don't let Christians get you. Well, I guess he's Catholic, but don't let theists get you into an infinite regress conversation. If their God can be eternal, the universe can be eternal. Plain and simple. Anyway. Yeah. We got some more calls. I'm just taking a little breather break, dude. If you've liked the show so far and you want to support the show, hey, Cash App and Venmo are right there. It goes to keeping my call-in screening program up and running. Zeus, thank you for the pay. I did boot him, but you can have a free boot later, Zeus, because of the way that worked. You just have to make sure I see it. So if you could ping a mod when you want that free boot, just let me know, because he kind of was leaving of his own volition already at that point. I hate arguing with theists. I love theist arguments. I don't know what it is. They have revitalized me. Theist conversations are fucking so much fun to me. Oh, yeah, we can. I see it. Thank you for letting us know, Scarlett. Yeah, I just got it's a mix of God of the Gaps. It's like, well, the only thing that can explain the start of the universe is God. I'm like, no, it could just be the universe has always existed. As far as I know, we don't have like super great cosmological evidence about a universe contracting, but it just would make sense, right? Like if there was a bolt of energy and it just started pushing out and pushing out, there has to be a point where it just, and it could just be, I mean, who knows? Maybe it's going to be some massive supernova or massive like black hole that sucks in all the energy eventually. Who knows? I don't. Not me. Javon, I love you. Love you too. Anyway, let's bring in the next person. 219-327-8005 if you want to hop up into the line soon. Next on to the show, we have Jeb. Jeb does not think trans men and women are men and women. So we're going to find out how Jeb substantiates that. Jeb, welcome into the show. If you can hear me, please provide me with your age and pronouns.
All right, brother, what's up? I'm 39, and I'm a guy. He, him, sir, whatever you'd like to say.
Now, Jeb, you don't believe trans men and women are men and women. That's fine. What's your take? Go ahead.
Okay, so I think gender dysphoria is a thing. I'm not going to disagree with that. 100% not going to argue over it, but I do think just by the plain factor that we all, just by calling someone a trans woman, we're accepting the fact that they are of a different category than a woman. When I
call my mom a black woman, am I saying she's a different category of? She's of a different category than a woman.
But you wouldn't introduce her that. You wouldn't introduce someone that way to another man if they were going to go on a date with somebody. I wouldn't introduce somebody as a trans woman if I was setting people up either. Why would you? Do you think that would be dangerous for that person? No, it's proven that it's more dangerous for trans women. It's dangerous. Jeb, you can't ask me a question and then talk as soon as I go to respond. I think it's more dangerous for trans women to be out to people that they don't trust. Okay. So the answer is yes, they should probably inform the man then, right? No, the answer is wait until you know that you can trust this person so they don't try to kill you. So there's something I ask you just straightforward. Yes or no, do you think it's more dangerous for a trans woman to not tell a straight man that they're trans before they go on a date? It is more dangerous for them to tell the person. Is it more dangerous for them not to tell the person? Yes, it is more dangerous to tell the person than not to, yes. Okay, so we're acknowledging that we are talking about something different than a woman. Nope. It's just the type of woman. If it was just a woman, we wouldn't have that problem. No, cisgender people's reaction to trans people does not prove that trans people aren't women. No, that's a very poor argument. cis people. That's just regular people. We've come up with cis to add another word to regular.
Cisgender just means not trans. If you're not cis, then you're trans. Like full stop.
It just means normal.
Just means not. Nope, it just means not trans. Just means not trans.
Why are we making up a whole nother word for the 99%?
We make up words all the time. What does it matter?
1%. You don't need to make up the word for the other
cis. First of all, cis is not a new word. Cis is Latin. You think Latin's like new?
No, I'm not. I never claimed it's a new word. It's a new way of.
You just said, why are we making up words? We didn't make up words. It's been a
Why
word.
are we making up the way we structure our speech differently all of a sudden?
Because we do that all the time. Who cares? What does it matter?
In what way do we do it in such a way that changes the whole system that the world has worked on since the beginning of time?
How does it change the system the world has worked on? What are you talking about?
Well, we go into sports. It changes sports drastically. We know that.
How?
I know we've all been.
How?
Well, because men have significant advantage over women in sports.
Where?
Larger skeletal structure, a larger heart.
Where are the trans people that are dominating their sporting categories?
Where you need to address the points I just made.
I'm addressing the point. If the men have this massive disadvantage, where are the trans women who are dominating their sporting categories?
The men don't have a disadvantage. They have an advantage. First
I just said if men have an advantage, where are the trans people that are dominating in their sporting category?
Why are there no trans men at any sports level?
There are. You just don't know who they are. Patricio Manuel is a trans boxer who's like literally 3-1. He's a trans man boxer. Your lack of knowledge does not mean that these people don't exist.
You got one example.
I just gave one example, but your lack of knowledge doesn't mean these people don't exist.
What lack of knowledge are you talking about? You got people that are winning national championships that are men.
Who?
Leah Thomas.
Leah Thomas didn't win a national championship.
Winning an SEC championship.
Leah Thomas didn't win an NCAA championship. She won one. She won. Do you need to do? I promise you don't know more about Leah Thomas than I do. Do you really want to go down this route?
You don't have to know. Let me ask you this: was she winning as a man?
Yes.
What'd she win?
Do you want to go down this route, or you? I just want to confirm. You want to go down this route?
Yes, I want to see her stats as a man compared to a woman.
No problem. So Leah Thomas, when Leah Thomas won as a woman, she won a singular event. It was the 500 freestyle. That was it. She won one singular event.
Who did she win against?
Where's her championship?
Who did she win it against?
A bunch of other women.
Who did she tie?
She tied in for 5th place with Riley Gaines.
And where's she on the leaderboards?
5th place. They tied for 5th place.
In her career.
They tied for 5th place.
Where is she in the rankings of her collegiate career?
What are you talking about? Who? Riley Gaines?
Where does she stand as a performer in Division 1?
Where are you talking about? Are you talking about Riley Gaines?
Yes, I'm talking about it is unprecedented.
Riley Gaines was ranked higher than Leah Thomas.
Yes, she is one of the best women in the world.
So I guess trans people don't have that much of an advantage, do they? If Riley Gaines is ranked higher than her, that's embarrassing for you.
Leah Thomas couldn't even touch a scale or a podium as a man at the collegiate level.
What are you talking about? She competed in the men's league. What are you talking about? In 2018 to 2019, she was in the men's division.
Okay.
What are you smoking?
Win? 5th place. How many times did you get 5th place in the men's?
How many times did she get 5th place in the men's? In the Ivy League, in the Ivy League, she came in. Hold on, in the Ivy League championship, she came in 4th, and in the University of Penn championship, she came in 2nd.
We're talking about Kentucky, brother, the SEC. Don't give me the Ivy League. Give me the SEC. Give me the top dogs.
In the NCAA, she was 87th. She was 87th in the men's.
87th, and then she places 5th. Now you're telling me there's no advantage?
She didn't place 5th in the women's league. What are you talking about? She placed 5th in one event. In one event, you fucking idiot. One event, you dumb fuck. One event. Jeb, you stupid fucking cunt. She placed 5th in one event. She didn't place 87th in one event. She placed... Okay, I'm going to mute you because you're a fucking idiot. She didn't place 87th in one event in the men's league. That was just her ranking in collegiate swimming. In the NCAA in Division I, her rank was 87th. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. You're an actual idiot. You want to dive down further? Because we can. You're dumb as fuck. Fucking shit, dude. These people are so stupid. Now I'm going to unmute you, but I want to show you to show me the advantage. She didn't win, but won heat and lost all of the other to cisgender women. So where the fuck is the advantage, Jeb?
Am I able to talk now?
Now you can if you want to not be stupid.
Okay. If you don't want to, you don't need to crash out. Okay.
I'll crash out if I want to crash out, Jeb. Fuck off.
Oh, I'm sure. Look, big dog, you ain't that big. Don't
want to bet?
Like you ain't that.
You want to bet? Oh, now you're muted again, Jeb. Oh, poor baby Jeb's muted again. Don't come up here like this. You're a fucking show. You're an idiot. So yeah, I crashed out a little bit because you're stupid. She didn't place 5th overall in the women's division. She tied for 5th place in one singular event. You're an idiot. Now you may talk.
I love it.
You talk when I say you can.
You got to mute your opponent.
Jeb, I hate to break it to you. Me muting you because you're incapable of having a conversation doesn't mean you won. Look, you're trying to interrupt me right now. You're trying to talk right now. It's not your show. So yeah, when I mute you because I have something to say on my show, doesn't mean you're winning the conversation. Oh, there you go. There you go. You got to interrupt again because you don't have any house training. Clearly. So again, she came in 5th place. She tied 5th place with Riley Gaines in one event. Just one. That's it. Mad quiet now.
Are you there? Oh, I can speak. Am I loud? Am I talking?
Go nuts, Jeb.
Is that yes or can
just said go nuts, Jeb.
Okay, so we'll get. I'm gonna let that go because it seems like you really didn't touch about the Riley Gaines one, the 1-to-1 comparison I gave you.
Riley, what the fuck are you, Jeb? Jeb? I'm gonna crash out on you again. Are you stupid, Jeb? How many people, Jeb? No, Jeb. How many people beat Leah Thomas and Riley Gaines?
I don't care how many beat them.
How many beat them, Jeb?
How many men beat
Jeb?
Leah Thomas?
How many people? How many people beat Leah Thomas and Riley Gaines? Nope, that's not how rankings are made. That's not how rankings are done in swimming. You're not ranked because 87 people beat. That's not how you are ranked in swimming, Jeb, you fucking moron. How many people? How many people in the fucking 200-yard freestyle? I'm sorry, the 200-yard freestyle, the one event that she tied with Riley Gaines for 5th place. How many people beat the two of them?
5?
4. That's how math works.
Okay, cool.
So that means 4 cisgender women beat her. So where's the unfair advantage?
So you're saying because 4 women won, she doesn't have an advantage over everybody else?
I'm saying if she has this massive unfair advantage, why did she only win one event? The second event, she tied for 5th place. The third event, she came in dead last.
Okay.
If she has this if she has a massive advantage, how come not a single record that was broken at the 2022 championships that she competed in the women's division were broken by her? If she has this massive advantage, how come she couldn't beat Kate Douglas's fucking record that was placed for the fucking Heat. How come she couldn't do that?
Filibuster all day.
You don't know what filibuster is.
I don't. It's what you're doing right now. You're going to talk so I can't talk because you know it's not.
You don't know what a
well.
filibuster is. You just need to wait your turn.
Continue on. Tell me.
Have impulse control.
A transgender has to beat records in order to be advantaged. That's all you're telling me right now.
If they're advantaged, I want to see the advantage.
Well, here's the advantage. Leah Thomas, transgender swimmer, ranked 462nd on the men's team to first in the women's swimming. Oh my God,
you're an idiot. She was ranked 4. You absolute fucking moron. Here's what I need from you, Jeb. I need you to stop being a headline debater. Here's what I need, Jeb. Stop being a goddamn headline debater. It's so fucking stupid. And read a goddamn report. Muting you, Jeb. Stop being a goddamn headline debater. Do you know why in 2019 to the 2020 season, Leah Thomas ranked so low in the men's division? It's because she started HRT, you fucking clown. She was literally on feminizing hormones, which made her do worse in the men's division. Prior to starting hormones, she was 89th in the men's division. Then the year she started hormones, she dropped to 462. Stop being a goddamn headline debater. It's embarrassing. Actually research this shit, Jeb. I don't think you've clicked past a headline in your whole life. I don't think you've clicked past a headline in your entire goddamn life, Jeb. I don't think you've ever done it. I don't think you've ever read a goddamn article in your life, Jeb. Have you ever read an article more than just a headline, Jeb? Have you ever done that?
Filibuster up, brother.
Have you done it, Jeb? Have you done it? Have you done it, Jeb? Have you done it?
You want to keep it?
Have you done it, Jeb? That's the question I'm asking right now. Have you ever read past a headline? No, it's not, Jeb, because you wouldn't have said the dumbass shit. Oh, like he plays 400. Shut the fuck up. You wouldn't have said the dumb shit you did, which was, oh my God, but he plays 400, because she was on fucking feminizing hormones, you dumbass. People like you, Jeb, people like you, here's the beauty, okay? Here's the beauty of people like you, Jeb. Now I'm gonna filibuster, dumb fuck. Now I'm going to take all my sweet goddamn time. Here's the beauty about people like you, Jeb. If people like you did a fucking iota of research, if you for a second decided, I'm gonna research what the thing I'm mad about is, for 1 minute, literally a 60-second bit of research, your entire worldview would change, but you don't. Because you know, if I do research, my worldview will change. You know that if you look up this shit, you're gonna find out, oh my God, I'm wrong. Oh my God, I was the wrong one here. It was me the whole time. But you don't. You read headline after headline. You've never read a goddamn study to save your fucking life. You don't know what sports medicine has to say about the changes that your body goes through in feminizing hormones. You don't know a single, you're like, how come there's no trans men athletes? There are, but you don't read past the headline, so you wouldn't fucking know it, Jeb. It's embarrassing. Now again, and I'm gonna say it one last goddamn time, Leah Thomas did not smoke her competition. Plenty of cisgender women were able to beat her. Leah Thomas couldn't even break a record set by a cisgender woman. But you want me to believe there's this massively unfair advantage because she plays 5th place against Riley Gaines. Maybe Riley Gaines should stop being a fucking baby and stop trying to grift the entire world because she's pissed she couldn't come beat 4 other cisgender women. So you know what she did? She looked at the trans person next to her and said, this is what I'm going to do. I wasn't good enough to beat these people, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to grift the anti-trans crowd. It's fucking embarrassing, Jeb. Make a cohesive argument for more than 5 fucking minutes. I would love to hear it.
Have you ever played sports? Have you ever?
Is that a real question? Is that this whole time you've been sitting here? This whole time you've been sitting here, that's what you decided to ask?
Do I need to bring up the woman
the whole time you're sitting here? She didn't break a record, you fucking stupid. Holy shit! She didn't break a single record. She didn't break a single fucking record. None were broken.
I need to bring up the
None were broken. Great, let's go through it. Let's go through it. Here's going to be my favorite. I can't wait, Jeb. I can't, Jeb. I can't wait to make you look. I can't wait to make you look dumb as fuck. Are you ready?
Javon?
Are you ready, Jeb, to look stupid
Javon?
as fuck? Jeb, are you ready to look dumb as fuck?
Out a little piece of
Jeb, are you ready? Jeb, are you ready to look dumb as fuck, Jeb? Because I'm about to make you look so stupid. I'm about to make you look so stupid that it's going to prove again, beyond a shadow of a doubt. You're muted again. I'm going to prove beyond a shadow of a goddamn fucking doubt that you are a headline reader. You don't ever research shit. Let's go. Strong woman competition, 2025 strong woman competition, was won by trans woman Jamie Booker. She won by 1 goddamn point, Jeb, against Andrea Thompson, who was the second place reader. Let's just see how she fared in the events. Event number 1, the log press. Andrea Thompson won that event, 4 reps of 250 pounds. Now, how did Jamie Booker do? She had an unfair advantage. She must have done so much better. No, oh my God. She only was able to do 1 rep of 250 pounds. What? Isn't that crazy that she wasn't able to beat a cisgender woman? You told me she would have been. What about event number 2, the timber frame carry, Jeb? Now, I would assume since Jamie is a trans woman, she's going to have this massive advantage over the cisgender woman. Well, let's see. Winner of that was Jackie Rhodes at 19.24 seconds. Wow, a cisgender woman beat her in the event number 2? Oh my God, but she's supposed to have this unfair advantage. What happened? Well, let's go into event number 3, the deadlift ladder. Now, I would assume that in the deadlift ladder, she would have come in first, right? She's trans. She's a trans woman. She should have all this fucking massive advantage, Jeb. Oh, but look at this. Andrea Thompson came in first place with 4 in 20.36 seconds, whereas Jamie Booker came in 5th place? Wow, so she wasn't able to dominate that. Okay, let's go to the next. I'm sure the next event, she will have had to have won that one, right? And this is the sandbag steeplechase. She would have had to have won this one. Oh my God, no. You're telling me she came in 3rd in that event? So 2 cisgender women beat her in that event too? Okay, well, event number 5, had to. She would have had to have come in. No, Andrea Thompson beat her in event number 5. Oh my God. Okay, what about event number 6? Oh, okay, event number 6, Sticks and Stone, Natural Stone Series. She finally won one. She finally won in event number 6. So this trans woman that has this massive advantage, Jeb, she was only able to beat cisgender women 1 time in 6 events, but she has a massive advantage, Jeb. How does that make sense, you fucking clown?
Can I ask a question?
Ask whatever the fuck you want. Jeb, how do you think the numbers are calculated, Jeb? She did, but how do you think the numbers are calculated, Jeb?
That's what I fucking thought. She did.
How are the numbers calculated, you inbred motherfucker? How do they calculate the numbers, Jeb? Do you know?
It's called an advantage.
Do you know?
She won the whole fucking event.
Do you know how the numbers are calculated, Jeb? She won by 1 point. Do you know how those numbers are calculated, you dumb fucking hick? Do you know? Yeah. Jeb, do you have any fucking idea, Jeb? Period. Can you see through the fucking missing teeth in your mouth? Can you see through the missing teeth in your fucking mouth? You stupid fuck.
In the weightlifting competition?
Can you see through the fucking teeth that are missing in your front jaw, Jeb? How the fuck are the numbers calculated? Answer the question. Do you know? Do you know? Mr. Javon, you've never played sports. Of course you don't know. Of course you don't know, you fucking moron. Because why would you know? Why would you know the answer to the question of how it makes an entire difference, you fucking joke of a human. Enjoy whatever miserable fucking life you're living. I hope you enjoy whatever miserable fucking life you live. I hope that for the rest of your fucking life, you remember that you came onto a debate show having done 0 fucking research. I hope you remember that when you're sitting there in your rocking chair at the end of your life, you just have this little memory that pops into your brain where you went, God, do you guys remember when I proved that all I do is read motherfucking headlines and I never study anything? I hope beyond a shadow of hope, I hope that little inkling is enough to make the end of your life fucking miserable. Enjoy whatever goddamn experience that you are going to enjoy for the rest of your life and suck ass. I fucking hate headline fucking debaters. I hate it more than life itself. Truly. Truly. They have an advantage because they were able to accumulate points. Wow. She came in first place one time, and so she must have just this massive advantage. So fucking stupid. Anyway. Cass, thank you for the Venmo. Let me try to switch gears. Thank you for the Cash App. Said for suffering these idiots. Honestly, the things I do for my art. Do we think? Listen, YouTube or Twitch. Can we hit our Twitch call? Whatever. Can we hit our goal today? This shit is crazy. Music Sheep, thank you for the boot for Jeb. We got him out of here. What fucking travesties the debates have been today. And yeah, you might say, hey, Jovan, why are you crashing out so much? Because fuck all of them. That's why. I hate headline debaters, so I'm going to start crashing out on them more often. Now, sometimes I don't crash out. You've heard plenty of conversations today where I've just been chilling. But motherfuckers like that drive me up a goddamn wall. Drive me up a wall, dude. The minute he brought up the fucking weightlifting, I knew. I was like, you haven't looked into this. You haven't. Sorry, dude. I'm fucking... Hey, thank you for the $10 PayPal, friend. Anyway, two more calls. And that's gonna be it for the day. We have those two more calls, and then we're gonna that's gonna be our... I just think if you're going to make an argument, you need to have researched that goddamn argument. Amelia, thank you for the Cash App. Said you're on fire today. I'm trying to be. It does burn a little. It do be burning. Okay. Golly. Ooh. T-Cat, thank you for the Cash App. Thank you for the Cash App, friend. We're gonna let up the next group of people. I'm just fucking resetting my fucking brain. Anyway, coming up next on the show, we have Tyler. Now, Tyler is an abortion abolitionist, so let's see how Tyler justifies that. Tyler, if you can hear me, please provide me your age and pronouns.
Hey, Jovan. I am 20 years old, and I just put he, him.
Okay. And Tyler, you are an abortion abolitionist, so what is the reason you believe abortion... What is the justification that abortion should be outlawed?
Well, I can make a legal argument or a moral argument. Which one would you like to make first?
Whatever one you think is a good reason.
All right, fine. Let's go through the legal argument first. So, there have been multiple cases over the last 20 years, let's say, where a woman has got pregnant and a man has secretly given her abortion pills and the baby has died. In that case, do you think the man should be charged with murder?
If it's after 24 weeks, sure. If it's not after 24 weeks, no.
Okay, so let's say it is after 24 weeks. So then what is the, well, actually the abortion pills don't work after 24 weeks because the baby doesn't, because the baby just like metabolizes them or something. But let's say that it did. So what is the difference between a man giving a woman the abortion pills and the baby dying and a woman willingly taking the abortion pills?
He forced it on her. She didn't consent to taking the abortion pills. That would be the difference.
Yes, but if she does consent, what is the moral difference because the baby still dies?
If she consents to it, again, if she consents to it, that's the moral difference. If she consented to it.
Okay, but if
I don't think it's immoral. I don't think it's immoral because the baby. I don't think it's immoral. Wait. I don't think it's immoral because the baby dies. I think it's immoral because he's forcing her to do something that she didn't consent to. That's why in a lot of instances, prior to 24 weeks, depending on the state you're in, this would be classified as an unlawful termination of a pregnancy, not a homicide.
Okay. So then I'm just confused because I think that they both should be charged with murder.
Well, then you're not making a legal argument then. You're making a moral argument. You're saying why it should be illegal. I thought you were going to make an argument about like some like legal precedent. But no, you're just making a moral argument.
Well, there is legal precedent because there have been multiple cases. There was one in Texas in 2005. There was another in, I believe, Massachusetts in 2011.
Yes,
there
it's
was
going to be
another in Florida in 2013.
It's going to be
There's
dependent on the state.
Going through the Texas courts right now.
Tyler. It's going to be dependent on the state, and then dependent on the state. Depending on state laws, they're going to make the determination. But oftentimes what we see is if it's prior to 24 weeks, it's considered an unlawful termination of a pregnancy.
Okay, so again, why is it different between men and women? That seems pretty sexist to me.
What do you mean? What's different? If he's not being charged with murder, what's different?
Because, well, in some cases he is charged with murder, but
yes, because some states
charges for
legally
this,
say it is,
and the woman is not. The action is the same. The only thing that is different is who is administering the pill.
Tyler, I worry, and I'm going to be respectful here because I think that you're young and you have an ability to hopefully learn from this. I worry that you aren't understanding the logical contradiction you're walking yourself into with your own argument. Because you're not making, you're saying, how come the legal system, what you're doing is you're doing a what the fuck? Dude, my brain's not been working. Well, it's not a consistency. You're arguing, you're doing an authoritarian, like it's a authority fallacy. I just can't remember the fucking phrase because my brain is not working. You're saying because this legal authority says this is murder, it should be considered murder. But like, what if you disagree with what the legal authority says, right? Appeal to legality. Thank you, Chad. Jesus Christ, my head is. So if we're going to talk about whether or not it should be considered murder, then that's a conversation we can have. And I would say if it's post 24 weeks, yeah, and somebody forces an abortion on you, yeah, I would consider that murder. Pre 24 weeks, no, I'd consider it unlawful termination of a pregnancy.
Okay, but either way, a man can be charged with a crime if he commits this action. A woman is not.
Depending on the state she's in. But who cares? I don't give a fuck if it's sexist. Who cares? What does that have to do with whether abortion is good or bad? Here, I'll make it easy. We change it. So he doesn't get charged with murder, neither does she. Now are you okay with it?
No, because
exactly.
It is murder.
So it has nothing to do with whether it's sexist. That's not that's just a gotcha argument that you're trying to use to win the debate. It doesn't actually factor into your stance or your worldview or the inherent argument you're trying to make.
Okay. All right. Fine. Let's do. Okay. So there was another call that you had earlier today. It was, I believe, 2 callers back. The guy's name was like Adam or something, I think.
Maybe. I don't remember people as soon as they hang up. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Okay, but during that call, you said that, what was the quote? Dang it, I remembered the quote. But you said something about, dang it, now I don't remember the quote. No, it was, okay, actually, I had an argument, but I don't remember what it is.
Okay.
Okay, fine. So your prompt is that there is no good reason to be anti-abortion?
Correct.
I will make the same claim in reverse. I don't think there's any good reason to be pro-abortion.
Tons of good reasons to be pro-abortion.
Give me one.
Pro-abortion respects consent, and I think respecting consent is a great reason to be pro-abortion. Pro-abortion allows women to have autonomy over their own bodies. So I think that's a great reason to be pro-abortion. Pro-abortion saves lives. I think that's a great reason to be pro-abortion. Pro-abortion makes it so people don't go into medical debt and become impoverished. I think it's a great reason to support abortion. How many more do you want?
Okay, let's go into the impoverished one to start.
Sure.
So basically what you're saying with this argument is that if someone is going to do an action and this action might make them poor, we should just kill somebody to prevent them from being poor. So basically what you're saying is that in order to end poverty, we should just kill all of the poor people.
That is so much of a straw man that I assume that I would see it on screen when I go watch Cynthia Erivo in Wicked for Good later this week. No, what I'm saying is that when somebody gets pregnant, because of the way our medical systems are set up, and they are impoverished, they have a higher likelihood of diving further into poverty. And because I don't view abortion as a moral negative, ending that life in the womb and stopping yourself from further dipping into poverty is a justifiable reason and a good reason to be pro-abortion.
Okay, so, all right, fine. Let's go into the bodily autonomy thing.
Sure.
That you mentioned that's another good reason.
Yep.
So if it's not your body, why do you have bodily autonomy over it?
It is their body. They have autonomy over who can be inside of their body.
Okay, but if it's not their DNA, why is it their choice?
Because they get to decide who is inside of their body.
Why?
That's just like a basic level of our own autonomy. Do you think women shouldn't be allowed to decide who's inside of them?
No, I think, but so why is, I think what you're doing is you're not taking the baby into consideration.
Yeah, I wouldn't, because a fetus prior to 24 weeks doesn't have rights, so I wouldn't take it into, it doesn't have moral consideration to me. So of course I'm not taking it into consideration. It is quite literally not a moral agent yet. Right. Because rights are reserved for sentient beings. Because only sentient beings can engage in rights.
Okay, and if I run over a squirrel with my car, have I committed a moral wrong?
Yes.
Even if the squirrel ran out in front of me?
Yes.
And I didn't have time to stop, and it was an accident.
If you run over if you're driving and a pedestrian runs out into the street and doesn't see you and you hit them with your car, while I would say you shouldn't go to jail, I would still say you did something immoral.
Okay, but does the same thing apply to a squirrel?
Yes, because squirrels are sentient agents. Yes, same thing. I don't think you should go to jail or face punishment for it because it was an unavoidable thing. But you still like did something wrong. You still did I wouldn't call it manslaughter, but it's definitely squirrel slaughter.
Okay, but is that moral wrong on the same level as killing a human being?
Is it on the same moral level? I probably wouldn't put it on the same moral level, but like I would still say it's morally wrong. I can take two things that are wrong and place a hierarchy on the wrongness. Doesn't make it not wrong, right? Like I would say it's morally wrong for me to litter, but I'm not going to place me littering on the same vein as me like slaughtering 32,000 children.
Well, there are a lot more than 32,000 abortions every year.
I don't believe abortions ended the life of a child, so it's fine.
Okay, so then what is it ending?
The life of a human. Life of a fetus. I wouldn't count it as a child. Once it's sentient, I would consider it a child. Mean? Fetus means offspring.
Well, it means it means offspring, little one, child, or baby.
It just
it's
offspring.
The Latin term.
Just offspring.
I've heard multiple different other interpretations of it.
You've
but
heard
fine,
or
we can
you've
go
researched?
With offspring. So why is it morally justified for a woman to kill her unborn child but not her born child?
Because the unborn fetus is not a moral agent. It does not have moral consideration prior to 24 weeks. Therefore, totally fine if you kill it. Why? Did you say why not? Because it can't experience yet. It's not sentient. It doesn't have the ability to experience. Therefore, it doesn't have the ability to be a moral agent. You have to be able to experience to be a moral agent. So the bare minimum it needs is the capacity for sentience. Once it has the capacity for sentience, then I believe it is moral consideration up until the permanent vanishing of that sentient experience.
Okay, but I can just kidnap somebody and knock them out with anesthesia, and then I kill them. They don't feel anything, but I still committed a moral wrong.
They still have the capacity for sentience. You just turned their sentience off for a little bit. They still have the capacity for it. That's why I said at the capacity for sentience, that's when we grant you moral consideration until the complete end of the sentience experience.
Okay, but why does your level of sentience determine your moral worth?
It doesn't. That's why I put it at capacity.
Literally what you just said.
Nope. That's why I put it at capacity, because it's not about the level of your sentience. It's just about whether or not you have the ability to be sentient or not.
Okay, so then why does that determine your moral worth?
Because once you're sentient, you can experience. I don't place moral worth on a rock, right? I wouldn't place moral worth on a rock. A rock can't experience. So I don't place moral worth on a body.
Okay, so you say that the capacity for sentience is doing all of the heavy lifting here. So then why does a 3-month-old not have
a 3-month-old what? Like 3 months out the womb? Bueller.
Jovan, I have to go.
Okay.
All right.
All right. I don't think you guys could hear that one. Anyway. Okay. Okay, final call time. Final call time. Did you guys hear the Mr. Krabs tiny violin? I didn't think it went through. Yo, super chatters went off today. First of all, Twitch, you guys let the super chatters bully the shit out of you in the live goals. I'm just saying, super chatters bully the shit out of Twitch with the live goals. But yeah, just to answer a little bit of that, I don't think a body deserves moral consideration. I think a person does. So a fetus prior to sentience is just a body. Once it becomes a person, then yeah, I'm down. Give it moral consideration, man. All right, last call. Coming up next, we have our final caller of the day. We have Cole. Now, Cole is a Christian and just wants to tell me why Christians believe in Christianity. So, Cole, if you can hear me, please provide me with your name, age, and pronouns.
Hello, my name is Cole. I am 25, and I am a he.
Okay, now, Cole, you are going to tell me that there are good reasons to believe in Christianity. Is that correct?
Certainly.
Okay, go ahead.
So, given that I believe that there is an afterlife, and if I knew that somebody after they die for not knowing Christ were to not be in an afterlife with God, which by all Christian definition would be a bad thing, would it not be, given if Christianity was the truth, that that would be incredibly important information?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we're just doing Pascal's wager at the end of the day, but like, why would I believe there's an afterlife?
Well, that's not the argument, really. Whether you believe it or not is your choice. What I'm saying is,
but if it's a
whether
good
or not
reason
you
to
believe
believe
it,
in,
because it's making a
hold on. If it's a good reason to believe in Christianity, then what would be the good reason to believe in the afterlife? Because if the afterlife's not real and you believe in it anyway, then that's not a good reason to believe in Christianity. So what would be the good evidence of the afterlife existing?
I cannot provide you, being logically sound, I cannot provide you evidence for an afterlife.
Okay. But you would agree with me, right? Like if you're saying the good reason to believe in Christianity is the belief in an afterlife, and so then you go to Pascal's wager, where because I believe in an afterlife, if I just operate in the little amount I have to do in life to believe in God, then that will get me infinite reward, and if I don't do it, then that will give me infinite punishment. There's a few faults that come into here when we go into Christianity. One, you would have to prove the afterlife exists in order for it to be a good reason. And two, why is that a good reason to believe in Christianity against any of the other countless religions?
I see what you're saying. Would you agree with me when I say that most of the world's major religions today are making truth claims?
Yes.
Okay, so if they're all making truth claims, that means either one of them right or they're all wrong, correct?
Correct.
So following that train of logic, when Jesus says, I am the way, the truth, and the life, no one comes to the Father except through me, that is a truth claim.
Yes.
So following that logic, if he is the way, the truth, and the life, and you do not follow him, that means that the only thing that remains is the lack thereof.
Sure, but what if it's actually Muhammad and you don't follow Muhammad?
Well, whether you believe in that is up to your own personal beliefs. But what I'm saying is that regardless of what you believe, they're both making truth claims.
Sure, but then what's the good reason to believe in the Christian truth claim?
I believe it's important to be learned and studied in all religions.
Sure, but I talk about Christianity specifically.
I believe it's important because as a Christian, the way that I see it is if I see somebody running in front of a truck and I know they're going to get hit by that truck if I don't tell them to stop running. it would be very morally wrong of me. How much would I have to hate somebody to not tell them they're about to run in front of that truck?
What?
Let me put it to you this way:
hold on, if we're analogizing this, then it would have to be that neither you nor the person who's about to get hit by the truck actually see a truck, and you have no evidence that a truck is actually there, but you're going to go push them in the street anyway because there may be a truck.
No. The example that I am illustrating for you is, say that I see a truck that the other person is not seeing,
but
and they are about to cross the street and walk in front of the truck, right?
But it's not analogous because you don't see a truck. You think there's a truck there. You have faith that there is a truck there, but you don't see a truck.
I see what you're saying, but just for the sake of the illustration, humor me.
Okay.
So say I see a truck that clearly the other person has not seen, and I'm trying to warn them that there is indeed a truck. Wouldn't I, if knowing in my own mind that there is a truck coming, wouldn't I really have to hate that person or just not care about them at all to not let them know?
If you see a truck, yes.
Exactly. That is the Christian argument. That is why
Christians don't see a truck. But Christians don't see a truck. That's what I'm saying. Christians don't actually see a truck there. They have faith that there is a truck there. They don't have any physical evidence of a truck. They just have faith that the truck is there. So yes, if someone just pushed me in the road and I go, what's happening? They're like, you're going to get hit by a truck. And I look around me and there's no truck. And I go, well, how do you know a truck is coming? They're like, I just have faith. I would look at this person like they're crazy. Like, so you pushed me for what?
I understand what you're saying. So let's not necessarily step away from the afterlife, because being logically sound, I cannot prove to you that there is one. Just like I cannot prove to you that there is a heaven or a hell. The only thing that we could, if going into history, if we dive deep enough, I might be able to give you not proof, but evidence for the existence of Jesus Christ at all. But that's not the point that I'm trying to make. Just from the Christian standpoint, because of what we believe, which, to the people that don't believe, I just want to say, thank you for your patience with us, okay? What we're doing is we are genuinely concerned for what we truly believe to be your eternal destination.
Oh, yeah, I just disagree that this is what Christians actually feel in their heart of hearts. I think it's more stems from a level of moral superiority. They just want to feel morally superior to people.
I don't.
Sure, but I mean, Christians on a whole, I think they absolutely do.
Well, I'm not arguing with that. Let's just look at the Crusades.
Yeah. So, but at the end of the day, I don't want somebody praying for me in a God I don't believe in. That feels disrespectful to me and my beliefs. Just like I wouldn't walk into your church. Like, I'll have these conversations here. I'm not going to walk into a church and be like, you're all stupid. Right? Like, that would be disrespectful.
Well, I wouldn't do that either.
But if a Christian says to me, they're like, oh, can I pray for you? And and I say no, and they do it anyway. That's pretty disrespectful.
That is highly disrespectful. But if knowing where you might end up if I don't, wouldn't it be rude of me, given my set of beliefs, to not at least offer?
You praying for me isn't going to get me into heaven, though.
No.
Your prayers will not change whether the actions I commit, like the sins I might do, and they will not change my belief. So praying for me doesn't do anything, but it makes you feel better.
I believe that praying can get things accomplished. I do believe that. But I believe that in regards to your own personal salvation, I believe that you work that out with you and God.
Yeah, so praying doesn't do anything for the person that you're praying for. Everything's according to God's plan, right? You praying doesn't change God's will.
See, but you're making it sound rather impersonal.
Well, because it would be impersonal. If God has a pre-planned plan for the universe, everything's impersonal, because nothing you do is going to change God's mind. God doesn't change his mind because you pray to him. Everything is acting in according to his will since the dawn of time.
I believe that God does have a plan. I also believe that God gave us the ability to have our own plan.
Our plan can't differ from God's plan, though.
It does every day. There's people that stray from God every day.
Wait. Does the universe operate in accordance to God's will?
I believe it's orderly and designed.
Does everything that happen in accordance to God's will? Can anything happen in the universe that God does not want to happen?
Let me put it to you this way. And this is an argument that I hear a lot, and it does, for the most part, logically track. Surely this God of the universe, if he can see everything that will ever happen, and that means that if he chose to make us the way that we are anyway, then did we ever really have a choice at all?
Yes, I don't believe in a worldview of Christian God that we have free will.
You're saying a being outside of time, space, and matter would not be able to accomplish free will?
I'm saying that he didn't give us free will. And it would be logically inconsistent for him to, if he, like, do you believe God sees all and knows all?
Yes, but I don't believe that just because you can see what's coming, I don't believe that means it's necessarily predetermined. For instance, if I knew for a fact that coming onto this call with you today, that I would tell you about my personal beliefs, and I know absolutely for a fact, 100%, it would not change any of your views, but I did it anyway in the hopes that it would. Just because I knew the outcome doesn't mean that I, in any sense of the word.
No, but you don't know the outcome 100%. God watches us like a movie. We're like a movie to God. He presses play and he watches what we do. Then he hits rewind and he watches us do it again, and we cannot make different decisions. If I put on Forrest Gump and he runs, I'm not going to say his free will. He was always going to run because I've seen him run before. He will always run. He can never do something different. We are like that to God. God watches us like we're a movie.
I see what you're saying, and it does logically track. What I'm saying is that God, knowing that there would be sin and suffering in the universe from time immemorial, sent his son down to die for our sins so that we may be saved, knowing what would happen when he created
why did he do that, though? He's God.
Because he's a loving father that wants a relationship with his kids.
A loving father sent his son to be tortured? Kind of feels like if he was a loving father, all he would do is snap his fingers and then bada boom, we're saved.
Sin requires sacrifice.
Why does sin require sacrifice? Because God says it does.
So
why not? Why doesn't God just no longer say that?
Absolutely. I see what you're saying. I think the issue here is that you're not underestimating God, you're underestimating sin.
God can control all sin. God created sin.
God did not create sin.
So wait, there's something that exists in this universe that God did not create.
Just because the world evolved to be able to house bacteria and bacteria came along does not mean that the world created bacteria.
God in the Bible says, I created heaven and earth. I created good. I created evil. Like, he says all this. He created the garden, the fruit of the tree of knowledge of good and evil. Right? So if the fruit has the knowledge of evil, and evil is sin, and God created the fruit with the knowledge of evil, he creates light, he creates dark. Everything in this universe was created with God. God could have easily created a universe in which sin doesn't exist, but he didn't.
Yes, because if he didn't, there would be no choice.
There already is no choice. But also we know that God wants us to live in a universe with no choice. That's what happens when we go to heaven. So why not just skip to that in the beginning? Why do we go through the rigmarole?
Because we have a choice to make on earth.
Why do we need that? He knows the future. He knows what our choice is. Why even bother with the earth part? If he sees everything and knows everything, he knows it from the minute you're born, every action you will do up until your death. Why even go through the life part? The second a soul pops out, he should be able to see what would happen if that soul went to earth. Just fucking put him right to heaven or hell.
Well, if you were a father and you knew that your son was going to do bad things, would you still not want to give him the opportunity to try?
Not if I knew for 100%. God isn't predicting what might happen. He knows 100% what will happen. So if he knows 100%, what's the point of putting us through the test?
Yes, but with the fatherly love that you have for your child, would you not do it anyway?
No. It's pointless. Why would I send them through years of agony and suffering when I know the answer at the end of it anyway?
I see what you're saying. And I would even go as far as to say that I understand what you're saying. What I'm saying is that I believe that God has truly given us an opportunity to choose to live our lives with him or separate from him.
Yeah,
through his son, Jesus
but
Christ.
he knows what we will choose. Before we're even born, he knows what our choice will ultimately be. So why are we going?
The opportunity is there.
Yes, but he knows, even if there's free will, he knows every choice we will make. So what's the point of?
We can choose to either be in our
Let's say I
identity with
live.
God.
Let's say I live to be 100. God knows everything I will do from 0 to 100. So if the ultimate goal is to go to heaven with God, why is he waiting? Why are we even waiting the 100 years if he knows what I will do and what I will believe throughout the time anyway?
To be honest with you, to be logically consistent with you, I don't have his perspective and I do not know.
And that's part of the issue that always boils down to when it comes to a theist debate, is it boils down to this thing doesn't logically make sense, but the argument becomes, well, God's way is unknowable to us. It just ends. Theism has to end in like a cop-out place because the position doesn't make sense logically.
I see what you're saying, although I do disagree. I can see why you believe what you do believe.
I mean, what do you disagree with? You've admitted that like there's no logical answer for this, so you have to just say God's way is unknown to us.
I did not say there was not a logical answer. What I did say was I lack the perspective to understand the logic.
Yeah, you said in order to be logically consistent, the only way you can do that is by saying, I don't know what God wants. That's a cop-out. So God acts outside of a logical mind. And so we just have to say this illogical being is the one that gets to control everything, and I'm supposed to worship this illogical being? No, thanks.
I am not claiming that God is illogical. What I'm claiming is I do not have the perspective nor the wrinkles in my brain to comprehend it.
No, I'm saying God is illogical. It is illogical to force humans to suffer for a test you know the answer to. Or a test you know the way they will answer. That's what's the point of that?
I am saying that despite how God knows what will happen, he loves each and every one of us so much, created in his image, fearfully and wonderfully made, that he decided to do it for us anyway, and even to go so far as to send his one and only son, Jesus Christ, to die for our sins.
Yes, he loves us so much that he's willing to place us inside a world with unending torment and suffering in the hopes that we will do what he sees we will do anyway before we're even born. Because remember, God knows us before we're even in the womb, per the Bible. So he forces us to go through this unimaginable suffering just so that we will die. And then he can go, okay, great. You went through all that suffering. Now you can come be with me. Even though what the thing that makes us be with him is the belief and the love of him, which he knew in our hearts that we would have had anyway. It just seems like he likes to torture us, which makes even more sense when you look at all the fucked up shit he did in the Old Testament. Makes a whole lot of sense that God just likes to torture people.
When you read it from the perspective that you have, I can understand exactly why you believe what you believe.
I think if you read it from any perspective, torture is the only thing I can glean from half of the Old Testament.
Given, I propose to you a question. Given that we live in a world with some really beautiful things and some really horrible things, would it be even possible that there might be a God who understands our suffering?
I don't think it's possible for a being of that quantity to be able to understand the emotions that we have.
But what if he took on the form of a human being? Maybe his name was Jesus Christ. And then he lived a perfect life, suffered undeservingly, and died on a cross.
Say that again?
You said that you don't believe that a God on the scale that I'm describing would have empathy in the way that I'm describing. What I'm saying is,
I don't think they could have empathy. I think they're so
now
they would exist so far outside of us that empathy, I don't see how they could.
Now what if God took on flesh, and maybe his name was Jesus Christ, and he lived a perfect life, and he suffered undeservingly and died on a cross for our sins?
Sure. Can you
I
prove
that there's
Jesus
a very
Christ...
good possibility that there would be a God who understands our suffering.
Sure. Can you prove that Jesus Christ now was God?
I can give you the evidence. Mark, Matthew, Luke, and John.
Mark, Matthew, Luke, and John are claims. They're not evidence.
They're historical documents.
Yes, but they're claims.
Exactly. Every religion makes a claim. Whether you believe it is your own choice.
Yes. What's the
corroborating
evidence to show that these claims are accurate and true?
You'll have to explain that to me. I'm not smart enough to know what that means.
Sure. Mark, Matthew, Luke, and John claim that Mark, Matthew, Luke, and John, let me just start here. Mark, Matthew, Luke, and John are all secondhand accounts of what Jesus did, written 40 plus years after his death. All anonymously. 40 years after his death. What's our evidence that the things they say happened actually happened?
What happened to the apostles?
Which ones?
All of them. Except one.
I mean, eventually they all died.
How?
Litany of different ways.
How about being flayed or boiled alive or hung upside down on a cross? And not just because they believed and relented or admitted that it was a lie and were still killed. No, they claimed to have seen the resurrected Jesus with their own eyes, and they died for that belief. Now tell me, would you die for something that you knew was a lie?
Tons of people die for... wait, first of all, the apostles could have believed what they said. That doesn't make it true just because they believe it. Second, tons of people die for what they believe.
Not just believed. They claim to have seen with their own eyes.
Yeah. What's your evidence that they claim they saw with their own eyes?
The fact that... What do you mean? The resurrection of Jesus.
Your only evidence is the Gospels. Prove that the 12 disciples actually existed outside of the Gospels. Prove that what they believe, prove that their deaths happened in the way they did outside of the Gospels.
You just take a quick dive into Roman history. It's not that hard.
Okay, so what is the contemporary evidence about the Gospel's death? Because the only apostle that we have a pretty much a near contemporary reference for is James. James is the only one.
Yes, and he died for what he believed to have seen with his own eyes, not just believed in his heart, seen with his own eyes.
Yeah.
Now, I'm asking you...
Of all the deaths of the apostles, there's no Roman records of their death. There's no... the only sources for their deaths or their existence comes from Christian transmission. There's no Roman records that they were killed for their beliefs. Those don't exist. Rome didn't write about any of them. So again, the only people writing about them were writing about them based on what the Bible said. Except for James, because James, we have the letter of Paul where Paul says he met James specifically. That is the only contemporary evidence of any of the apostles existing. not even close to their deaths. We have literally nothing about their deaths save for the Bible. But the Bible is the claim, it's not the evidence.
Well, we could also go into like church tradition that spans all across the globe, not just specifically out of the Bible, but handed down tradition, not just the Bible.
Yeah, but that doesn't prove that the apostles died for their beliefs. That doesn't prove that.
Okay, so let me ask you this: how many manuscripts are written about the apostles?
In total, I don't know.
But we can both agree it's a fairly large amount.
Could be, yeah. What does that matter?
Okay. Do you know how many were written about Alexander the Great?
Couple? What does it matter?
A couple. We have way less documentation about Alexander the Great yet. I don't see a lot of people questioning whether or not he existed.
None of the manuscripts about the apostles are contemporary. That's why I call them into question. They're all written decades later. Our first story of Jesus and the apostles isn't even on written record until 60 to 70 years after his death. Because we're talking about Matthew. No. Mark? Matthew or Mark. I always forget who comes first. But our first written example of the apostles isn't until 60 to 70 years post Jesus' death. Save for James, which was around 20 years. But Paul doesn't even claim James as an apostle. He just claims he's a brother of Christ.
You do understand that's almost exactly the same thing, right?
No. When Paul refers to James as a brother of Christ, he means it in the biological brother sense, as in they have the same mom.
Yes, no, I get that, but he was also an apostle. He could have been referring to either.
No, but he specifically is referring to it in the sense in the thing, because what he says is, then after 3 years, I went up to Jerusalem to visit Cephas and remained with him 15 days, but I saw none of the other apostles except James, the Lord's brother. He specifically denotes
wait,
James.
Hold on. Rewind and read that one more time.
Yeah. No. I was wrong about him not claiming James as an apostle. That was my mistake. He says he didn't meet any of the other apostles except James, who was the Lord's brother.
Wait. He didn't meet any of the other what?
He says, but I saw none of the other apostles except James, the Lord's brother.
So he clearly made reference to the other apostles there, according to what you just read.
Yeah, apostles would just... So he makes reference that there are apostles, but we don't know who any of them are.
Well, we could easily infer, based on the fact that James is real, that the other ones that are documented are as well.
No, we can't. That's just you making an inference.
Why wouldn't it be who it was written about? At that point, it wouldn't even be considered real historical documentation.
Well, because a lot of these aren't considered documentation.
I mean, but see, that's purely based on your own perspective, because there's plenty of historians that believe vice versa.
Paul talks about he talks about Peter, he talks about James, and he talks about John. Now, he does mention that there are 12, but he doesn't name anybody.
That's awfully convenient that he mentioned 12, considering there were 12 of them.
Yes, but again, the writings in the gospel were written after Paul's letters. So they could have seen that Paul said there were 12. So of course they wrote about 12, because Paul had already mentioned that there were 12. The gospels were written decades after Paul's letters. They were written decades later. So yes, of course they would have had 12 on their mind. Paul mentions 12. Once one person mentions something, the others are going to reference it. That doesn't prove that the 12 existed.
I'd never claimed to give you proof. I'm claiming to give you evidence. Whether you believe it or not is up to you.
That's not evidence either. But
there's been plenty of historians that have
unfortunately,
validated.
No, wait. There have been historians who have said that they believe Jesus existed because we have enough third-hand accounts about a man that we can just say like the man existed. No historians can verify Jesus's divinity or any of
I'm not going to sit here and Google up a list for you of people's names, but just in your own spare time, just look it up. It's easily verifiable that they're not that it's proven, but that there are historians that say that it tracks.
No, there's zero historians that can prove or put forth any. Hold on. There are zero historians that can put forth any evidence of the mystic claims of Christ. The only thing they can do is they can say that we think Christ existed. Usually,
I didn't say the mystic claims.
Okay. Well, I don't care if he existed. Cool. That doesn't prove that he was the son of God.
The argument was the apostles might not have even existed. That's what I was referring to.
I would still hold to that.
But what I'm saying is there's plenty of historians who, do it for a living that happen to disagree with you.
That's fine. There are historians who think that Noah's Ark was real. Doesn't mean anything.
Most of the major parts of the world agree universally that there was a flood.
Yeah, because we had an ice age and all the ice melted. What do you think happened to all that water?
Of course. I'm not getting into the science of why it happened. I'm just saying that there's plenty of documentation for it, is what I'm saying. I'm not arguing science with you.
No, okay. Well, I've got to move on, unfortunately. But if you want to call back a later date to continue the conversation, feel free.
Absolutely. Hey, thank you for your respect. It was wonderful meeting you and good talking with you. And just, for everybody that's watching, I appreciate your time. And just when a Christian comes up to you and offers to pray, and if you don't want it, just tell them no.
Okay.
But thank you for entertaining us regardless, and I hope you have a good day.
Yep, you too. Shout out to C and to Music for wanting us to move on from that one. I just dude. Even when I take Paul's letters into consideration, it doesn't prove. All Paul's letters can prove is that we think there might have been a dude named Peter, right? Peter might have existed. So, of course, the Gospels are going to write about Peter because there's already writing about Peter. It just bores me, All right, that's it for the debates today. Let's go through our super chats. Y'all went ham on super chats. Holy shit. Twitch, y'all got destroyed today by YouTube. So let's go through all of our super chats. Get those last ones in now if you want me to read your message. Cheapers creepers. There's so many, bro. Okay. First up from AR Uzi4T. I don't know. You deserve all the love and support. Thank you. Got a couple for Music Sheep, so we're going to read a bunch of them. Do you have that Ozzy Osbourne gene that makes the body unable to break down drugs, thus making them ineffective? Maybe. Jumping into a plane engine shouldn't be illegal because it's common sense. Murder should be illegal is the concept of not killing someone, not common sense. Yo, on God. I didn't even pick up on that. Vampy, Violet Vampiress. I'm not used to the new name, but it's a good name. If only conservatives weren't constantly critically failing their think check. No, for real, I want someone to do. You have to find that video of me. Somebody has to edit that video of me with like a Skyrim check, please. Oh my God. Marissa, thank you so much. Thank you so much for the Venmo. Said, can we talk on office hours about post 24 weeks? Yeah, that's fine. We can talk about on office hours about whatever you guys want. I'll do an office hours about whatever you guys want me to. From Lord Lumen is poo. Said, what lives at 90 degrees north and south is manic depressive and is attracted to the male and female of the species. A bipolar bear. That's gonna make my head hurt. Music Sheep, we got a couple from Music Sheep again. Humanity in its entirety is all feelings and vibes. We literally evolved as social creatures to vibe check ourselves and other tribes of humans. Did you see that Mr. Beast is trying to start his own economy? He and Trump are in an arms race to make Book of Revelations a true prophecy. Oh man, are we finally moving on from capitalism and we're just going to beastism? Are we skipping socialism and communism? We're going to beastism? That's crazy. Time does not actually slow down when you go to the speed of light. Your perception of time would slow down because you are moving faster than the light that hits your eyes. When you stop moving, you've still aged. But you don't age as much. I'm pretty sure Interstellar was correct about that. I'm pretty sure I watched a Neil deGrasse Tyson video on that. Between two hamburger buns, there is no meat, no lettuce, no tomatoes, no onions, no condiments, nothing. I call it the caller special. Please skip. And we did. I can prove magic exists. Watch this. Accidentally drops rabbit behind hat, failing the magic trick. Okay. Sheep. HRT causes muscle atrophy while keeping bone density. If anything, trans women have an unfair disadvantage because they are prone to exhaustion and low stamina. No trans woman has won a major event. Rook is king. Thank you for the super chat. Said, well handled with Adam. Seriously, held the line, took no shit, and got through to him in a way none of us listening thought you could have. Yeah, that one shocked even me. Sandman629, W Adam, literally a better person than 99%. True. A couple more from Sheep. The age pyramid wouldn't be fixed by having babies because those babies have to age 18 years to pay for it, and the older folks will be dead by then. Music Sheep, abortion helps reduce poverty, homelessness, child abuse, death, and other things, but what about the trout population? What? What if poor people had babies so that two people are poor instead of just one? I am an economics master, second only to Ronald Reagan. Until the ability to transfer a fetus from one womb to another, the mother gets full say on what happens with the fetus. If it does get invented, then fathers can get a say on wanting a transfer instead of an abortion. You know they never will. Katie, Iron Fist, the pregnant person is more important than any pregnancy. Follow what they want, not weird, exist controlling men. Inherently. God damn it. Is inherently going to become a thing? Real talk. Is inherently going to become a thing, chat? I just need to know. I just need to know if inherently is going to become a thing going further in the future. I'm just wondering. Where did I leave off? Here we are. From music again, Michael, you are on Whippets. The Big Bang didn't start from literally nothing. It was a bunch of energy focused in on one place, then exploded violently. Michael needs to check into a rehab center. Bro huffed something and lost brain cells. He's slurring so much. He really was, though. I mean, you could say that God sacrificed part of himself to make the universe, common religious belief around the world, but you couldn't also say God has infinite power. It's me, Haley G, said have some money. Thank you. I will gladly take it. Music Sheep said it's dangerous for a Muslim woman to disclose her religion before a date in 2002. That means she's not a woman. What is this argument? Hey, you might be onto something here. From Raise a Village said toward booting the current caller, 15 more to go. I don't remember which caller that was, but yeah. Transphobes constantly talk about trans women dominating because they secretly want to be topped by a trans woman. Okay, I think that wins. Yeah, everybody else go home. I think that's the winning super chat of the evening. Everybody else, pack it up. Pack it up. Riley Gaines literally quit sports to take up the cushy financially stable career of yelling about trans people, all because she was mad that she got the wrong loser trophy. Correction, she was mad because she didn't get her loser trophy immediately. It had to come in the mail. On Truth Social, there's an official conservative book club group. It only has... Oh, my neck hurts. It only has 90 users in a single post. That should tell you all you need to know about their reading comprehension. Jeb wins electoral vote for all 50 states and gets booted from the call. Shark Tenko said, Aiden Dowling, by the way, is a trans man who competes in lifting. Damn, ate his shit up with that. Devin LeBert, thank you so much for the super chat. Music again. I once saw an article about a violent crime and they showed the victim as the image for the article. He was black and people assumed he was the criminal. Do not trust headlines without reading. True. Like Glyph, thank you for the super chat. Kudos for getting the first kid to admit his shortcomings and props to telling off Jeb. Thank you. Sharktendo again said it took me 1 second of Googling to find the information. It wasn't even hard. No, seriously. Death Guitarist said, thank Zombie Jesus, somebody who actually knows something about trans women in sports. These people want to be satisfied unless trans women never win. Yep. Caleb said, you may hate headline debaters, but how do you feel about foot curve debaters? I'm sure they'd be able to make a cogent argument, maybe a foot curve medical expert like Dr. Scholes. Crazy. Sheep. Caller sounds like Ben Shapiro. Yo, no, low key. Dark Silver Cloud said, I need you to know that I'm neurodivergent. The way you say stupid is now a stim for me and permanently part of my vernacular. W. Tai Shaku said, as a Tyler, why is every Tyler that calls in always the weirdest Poindextery sounding incel ever? I want a new name. By the way, that Tyler has called in like 3 times before. Ben Shapiro wannabe gets immediately shut down and has no idea what to do because he can't use misinformation. Blitzkrieg the way his daddy does. Easy. In ancient Greece, it's considered murder if a roof tile falls and hits someone on the head. Law doesn't equal reality or morality. True. From Violent Vampirus, again, thank you, Tyler, for reaffirming that I will forever be child-free. Congrats, you prevented an abortion. Comic Writer said, I don't care if you're pro-choice or not. If you aren't going to financially contribute to the pregnant woman, your opinion is shutting the fuck up about what she should do. Oh my God, true. Just a few more. Sheep again. Tyler may as well be saying it's not okay to kill an alien parasite because it's the parasite's body and DNA. Like what? Tyler going to a 5-year-old's birthday. Hey, loom at the birthday fetus. Oh, what? Look at the birthday fetus? Look at the birthday fetus. How old are you, fetus? He'd get kicked out immediately. From Egoistic Altruism said, corpses should not have more rights than living people. True. Vampire said, damn, I was going to pay the 20 to boot Tyler before the 24-minute mark so we wouldn't have to give his argument moral consideration. That's funny. Mirate, thank you so much for the super chat. Cade Pope, I just like round numbers. It ain't round. Sheep again, I think Christianity is the one true religion because insert thing that all religions say. No deadass. Music Sheep said, as someone who makes bad analogies, I can definitely say that was possibly the worst analogy for anything I've ever heard. From Technically Astral said, all I'm getting from this is that Cole wants to push people into the streets. True. Music Sheep said, please be okay with guiding us to the good afterlife. Oops, we didn't know it was the wrong religion and now we're in another religion's hell. Sheep again, if the universe was orderly designed and determined by God, humanity would have mathematically predicted everything that will ever happen. God basically went to go buy milk since the conception of Jesus and only came back when Jesus was killed. A good father to his son. Yo. Okay, Javon, I'll say Yaldboth was the one who wanted to remove free will. God wanted free will but demanded praise in return. There's a difference. Fuck his free will. God forces humanity to do these things because he's still salty about Eve disobeying him. No, for real. He's fucking... The tests are from Yahweh, the God of storms and war. The compassion is El, a different God. The two gods got put in a blender to simplify religion, but ended up making everything confusing and contradictory. True. Flux Channeler said the Kojiki is a historical text that documents the origins of Japan. It's also a mythological text that asserts the Emperor of Japan is descended from the younger brother of the goddess of the sun. Didn't know that. Thank you for that information. Sheep said, please skip. I'm tired of the argument about St. Peter seeing Jesus' resurrection because it's nonsense, even on a basic scholarly level. None of that is remotely true. It's just stupidity. From Flux again, character limits are annoying. If all it takes is to be a historical document, how come no Christians argue for the divinity of Emperor Naruhito? From Peter T. No, sorry, Jovan, but you're wrong. God doesn't watch this like a movie. He watches this like a snuff porn film because he's a big old perv. Read your Bible. Jeez. You're right. From Callan Roar said, keep fighting the good fight, bud. Thank you. Thank you all for the super chats today. Thank you for hanging out with me. Oh, wait. Oh, yeah. What? Did the Twitch turn off? Am I high? Why does my Twitch say offline? Oh, no, it's live. I'm fucking stupid. We had some birthdays that I forgot. So here's a couple birthday songs really quickly because you guys asked for them and I didn't provide them. So here are 2 birthday songs. That's loud. Ow. Ow, fuck. Wait. Could you guys hear that? I don't think you could hear that. Yeah. Hold on. I'm going to fix it and do it again. Ready? Here you go. That was for Progressive Alien. This next one's for Tales of Atonement. You could be a birthday baddie too. A very happy baddie birthday to you. And then this is going to be for Dingo Montoya. You could be a birthday baddie too. A very happy baddie birthday to you. All right, thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for hanging out with us today. I will be back live Sunday morning. I don't think I'm going to be live at all. I might be live Saturday evening for Calling It Now. Me and Jimmy might move to Saturday because I can't do Sunday because I have some other stuff to do. But so you might see me live Saturday evening. But other than that, it'll be Sunday morning will be the next live. So thank you for hanging out here. Thank you for chilling. Thank you for watching. I will see you guys later. Bye-bye.